Wednesday, and great to have you all here on today's live stream. Got a lot of stuff to talk about today. Welcome. We're on hump day, 2 days away. Friday's coming, which is always good, right? So awesome to have you guys. Great to be here, and I've got a bunch of other audio kicking on. Hold on one second here. All right. Let me see who's out there in the audience. Make sure you guys can hear me all right. Well, before I do my shout outs, let's get into the topic what we're going to talk about, okay? Great to have you guys here. I've got the polls already up. We're going to take a roll count in a minute, head count, roll count in a second here, give some shout outs. But really, in the beginning here, I want to talk about what are we going to talk about, okay? First of all, you saw the thumbnail. The thumbnail is nuts, okay? This is real, okay? And it's not the picture from before 2 videos ago, not from last week. This was actually released by the NSA's file drop, which I didn't even know about until I started researching for this new video I did that I released today, okay? So I'll get into that in a minute, but welcome back. Again, if you're new here, I'm Ben Pappas, a retired Marine Lieutenant Colonel, served in Force Recon, served with the Marine Raiders, was a battalion commander of a Marine Raider Battalion. I served as a U.S. diplomat overseas. I've worked in the interagency. Was also went to the National War College as well, too, so it gives you kind of my strategy chops as well, all right? Today I published a video that actually I've been sitting on for a while, okay? It's about 8 minutes long. If you haven't seen it yet, please check it out. I think you're going to like it. It's very, tight. It's focused to the point, but there's so much more underneath this story that 8 minutes couldn't hold, okay? And as everybody's trickling in here, I'll give you the overview on this. So tonight we're going to go deep, okay? Just me, you, and the most audacious cover-up in American history, possibly in world history, okay? Because this could be the biggest story in world history if the things we have before us turn out to be true, okay? In the form of UAP, non-human intelligence, all that stuff. All right, so there's a lot here. But again, evidence does not equal proof of existence. Evidence is important, though. And there's quite a bit of evidence coming out right now, all right? And I want to be clear about something from the start for anyone who's new here as you're just getting in, if you're checking this out. This isn't a UFO channel. I do dive into these things because I think it's a huge story and it's important to take a look at it and the decision-making processes behind it, to release, not to release. What do you do when something like this happens, right, as a strategic leader? This is actually a leadership channel, okay, overall. And the whole point and purpose of this channel, the Ferocious Optimist channel, is to upgrade your life, okay? So tonight's stream is about understanding your operating context, knowing what's going on in life so you can make better decisions. Because honestly, you can't lead effectively if you don't understand the world you're operating in, okay? The things we're going to discuss tonight: compartmentalization, institutional self-protection, the architecture of secrecy. We touched on this on Monday as well, too, but these aren't abstract concepts. They show up in every organization, every team, every company, every relationship, okay? The government just gave us the most extreme case study in history. Let's go ahead and learn from it. Drop a little wave symbol in the chat. Let us know where you're watching from. I want to see where everybody's watching from tonight. But drop a little shout out in the chat. Tell us where you're watching from. And now it's time for some of my own shout outs. What's going on, Lady Ann? I got Lady A. Okay, I got D Lady Hearts USA. All right, D Lady Hearts USA. What's going on, Lisa? How you doing? Mark, good to have you. And let me see who else. Juan Wick, what's going on, brother? Good to have you out there. Joe Saunders, yippee-ki-yay, man. Great to have you. I'm ready for your questions, Joe. Ready to do it. Tonight's going to be an interesting one for sure. Mark, I think I already got you. Thank you, Mark. Hey, Jasmine, what's going on? Good to have you. Jasmine's out there. Joe Saunders. Jonathan, what's going on, Jonathan? Good to have you. Jonathan Davis. Let's see who else is out here. Give some shout outs. La Diamond Dog's up in here. SRP Valkyrie's up in here. Jason's here. Nice. Jasmine, Canada. La Diamond Dog, France. Colombia. SRP Valkyrie, Colombia. Quindito, Colombia. Man, we got a good international audience here. This is wild. Awesome. Pittsburgh, PA. All right, Mark. UK, Brendan, coming from UK. Awesome, guys. Super cool. We got a really cool audience, cool international audience. This is fantastic. Well, the good news is Wanwick, California. Awesome, brother. Love it. Yeah, so, I mean, what's really interesting tonight is that the show we've got really covers all the bases across the world, because the things that we're finding out right now, okay, we're finding out, for better or for worse, that this whole phenomena of UAPs, UFOs is everywhere, okay? That they've been seeing these things all around the world. In my first video I published about this, the first long-form video that says they knew on the thumbnail, I referenced a French study all the way back in, I want to say it was like 1990s time frame, but it was a bunch of studies done with interviews with French fighter pilots who had seen all these UAPs way back when. And I think it was the French general staff had commented on it, prominent scientists saying, these are credible witnesses. There's something here, okay? And, so that's another example, but all over the place. But let's get into the evidence. We're going to get into the evidence for a little bit right now. Answer the poll. If you haven't gotten into the poll yet, we're going to, I want to make sure you hit the poll. Let's see right here. What do we have in the poll? I'm going to read this to you guys. Do you believe the U.S. government has recovered non-human craft? Number one, yes, they've had it for decades. We're at 64% right there. We got 14 votes. So please vote in the poll here. We've got next, maybe. The testimony is hard to ignore, 7%. Not sure, I need more evidence, 14%. No, it's all new secret technology, 14%. Okay? So, yes is overwhelmingly right now leading the way, but put your vote in the poll. I want to get an idea so we can all learn together and know what are people thinking around there. All right. Yeah, very cool. Welcome to all my international guests from around the world. Great to have you guys, and let's kick this thing. Let's go. So, let's talk about what the hell is going on. We're going to talk about secrecy first of all. Secrecy itself. Most people think this is about hiding UFOs from the public. That's level one. That's just the surface, okay? But even before I do this, I got to celebrate the best chat in YouTube. What am I doing? Forgetting all about it. Greatest chat in YouTube. Everyone, big round of applause for best chat in YouTube. All right, welcome, guys. If you're new here, welcome to best chat in YouTube. We got the greatest people in here. Super cool. You can agree to disagree. You can state your opinion, all that stuff like that. And everybody goes along and gets along. And we don't get sideways or try to cancel the channel, cancel the live stream, because then you will have to go bye-bye. We all know. All right? So great to have you here. Welcome. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share if you are new, so that you can be involved with all the latest content in my latest live streams and get in with the best chat on YouTube. All right, guys, we're ready. Done all the tributing I need to do. Let's go ahead and do that. So like I was saying, the levels of secrecy. Let's talk about this first. Architecture of secrecy. Most people think this is about hiding UFOs from the public. That's level one. That's the service, okay? Level two is hiding it from elected oversight, from the members of Congress who are supposed to be funding and overseeing these programs. I mean, that's not just wrong. Under the National Security Act, it's actually illegal. All right, that's where we're at with this, okay? Level three is the one that really got me, because they're hiding it within the government itself, from other people with clearances, from people who do have a need to know. Programs that are so compartmentalized, you need to know the code name just to be allowed to hear it, okay? So think about that. You can't investigate something you're not allowed to know exists, okay? Nancy Mace actually said that on the record during this big bipartisan hearing in Congress. I'm going to play that really quickly so you guys can check this out, because it's really wild that this actually took place. And if you watch my video, I cover these briefly. Again, it's only an 8-minute video. I can't do it full justice I can in a 2-hour live stream, okay? So let's hear Dylan Borland. He's one of the whistleblowers.
Living off of unemployment for the next 3-4 weeks until that's gone. So it's a complicated question.
Have there been stories leaked?
And so what he's talking about right here is how he's been discredited so much that, you know, the kind of people that are cracking down on the whistleblowers basically ruined his career, tried to ruin his life, tried to discredit him totally, okay? And so he's talking about what the cost has been to him and to his family for telling the truth and saying the things he knows. Okay? Let's go ahead and watch a little bit more of this.
About your life to try to discredit you in the public eye?
As of now, I don't know.
We know they did that to Mr. Grush.
I am aware. Yes, ma'am.
They leaked his private medical information, horrific things.
It is.
Okay, you said in your testimony earlier with the chairwoman, you know other things. I guess that has to be mentioned in a skiff.
It would.
The other things.
It would.
So this is important right now to listen to, because he's talking about how if you don't have the code word, you can't know what to ask for. And so if you don't even have the code word, you can't even know anything. They won't tell you, and they'll just compartmentalize it away. So if you don't know the code word, then you can't even know what to investigate, and they don't feel the need to tell you.
Pending, I'm even legally allowed to speak on, and the people in the room are even legally allowed to hear it.
And is that, would we need to know the compartmentalized word, like what the code word is or the name of the program, the special access program, in order to even hear it? You have to know the word, right?
I would suggest,
the name of it, right?
I would suggest that to be asked to DNI Gabbard and work with her for that, because I can't give you the answer on what is the requirement.
This is what the U.S. government does, right? They compartmentalize the information. We certain people know the name of the program, and if you don't know it, you can't get the information. If you don't have the name, you don't know what to ask for. Even when we're reviewing the budget, we go into a SCIF, we look at DoD budget and the budget of like black box programs, and we don't know what we're looking at because we don't know what these programs are. Is it a way for the government to hide from Congress what's really going on and where the money's going?
In my opinion, absolutely, yes.
Okay, and this goes into what we were talking about on Monday. Okay, so if you're new here, on Monday, if you're new to the live stream, new to my channel, on Monday we talked about the unacknowledged special access programs and just the function they serve for, hiding funds, misappropriating funds to work on things, okay? Obviously, Blue Force technology, if we're developing things for the United States government, there's definitely a need, only, certain people need to know about that, but people can track the dollars, and there's usually oversight. Even if it's an unacknowledged program, there's some way someone can track some things down. But some of these, I shouldn't say the unacknowledged, special access programs, period. But the unacknowledged special access programs, where we get into problems because there's no oversight. They're operating outside of any intelligence oversight, congressional oversight, but they're still taking funds, okay? And they can do whatever they want. And if you check out my video from today that I published today, I'm revealing just how this traces all back to the money once more, okay? They're going all the way back, all the way to the money again, protecting their rice bowl, protecting this massive defense, military, industrial complex that is feeding the large corporations, the large military contracting corporations and companies, big fat government contracts. So they're protecting their rice bowl. Overall, it's about money, okay? That's in my opinion from what I'm seeing. There could be some other things too. There could have been some things like trying to shield the public from this knowledge. All right, but you make up your minds. I'm going to put a lot out there. You guys make up your minds what you think right here. But let's go on to the next one here. 1 second. But you heard Nancy Mace saying it. Only certain people know the name of the program, and if you don't know it, you can't get the information, okay? So I've held clearances, right? I know some of you out there have had them as well too. I've operated inside of classified environments. I understand why compartmentalization exists, okay? For example, everybody that's a member of a direct action mission, okay? You don't need to know everything about the source where the intelligence came from for the mission, okay? You don't need to know the methods and all that. You just need to know that it's vetted, it's finished intelligence product, and you're going to go, okay? But it protects the sources and methods, and it protects lives and the missions. But there's a hard line between protecting a mission and protecting an empire. And what the UAP record shows is that this line was crossed probably decades ago. And if you haven't voted in the poll yet, I want to see what you guys think if we've had these recovered crafts for decades, okay? And also in the chat, give me a 1 in the chat if you've ever been in an organization where you knew something was being hidden. Okay, we talked about this on Monday a little bit. But drop a 1 in the chat if you've ever been in an organization where you knew something was being hidden, but people just didn't want to talk about it, okay? Drop Drop a 1 in the chat, because this is the real leadership issue we're addressing right here. Okay. And at the end of the day, you know, all these things are about leadership strategy, all those things. So put a 1 in the chat, put a 1 in the chat if you've ever been in an organization where you knew something was being hidden. Just want to see where we're at on that. I just made it rhyme, everybody. Let's see here. And then I'll get right back into the video. Let me see. Okay, SRP Valkyrie, Jason, yep, Matt Brum. Cedric. You were the one hidden. Okay. Hey, sometimes it could be good, Cedric. Jasmine, got it. Joe Saunders. Awesome, man. Thank you, brother. Big round of applause, everybody, for Joe Saunders real quick. Thank you for the support, my friend. Let's fire this up right now. Big round of applause for Joe Saunders. I appreciate your support, brother. Thank you so much. It means a lot. Let's get to your question here. I told you I'm ready for your questions tonight. All right, big round of applause there. Joe Saunders, start it off. Okay, let me get into the question itself. And I'm going to give you a quick thank you in here as well before I answer. Okay, I spent a few decades in information technology. There is error was a term. The least amount of authority required. Okay. Therein was a term. The least amount of authority required. Typically refers to the principles of least privilege. Just saying. Yeah, I get what you're saying, Joe. Like, the least amount of authority required. Yeah. You want to use the person that's at the lowest level that can get the job done. This is a great point. And what you're doing is you're almost reverse engineering how do organizations succeed, you know, honestly. Yeah, because in my opinion, it's not about classifying so high. What they're doing is the opposite. They're classifying so high at such a high level that nobody can get the job done. Nobody can be involved. It's not democratized. It's not pushed down to the lowest level. What Joe is saying here, and Joe, tell me if I'm answering this right, if I'm saying this right, okay? Tell me if I have the spirit of what you're saying right, okay? Yeah, because you're saying that it needs to be done at the lowest level, where we pass information so the lowest level can do it. Okay, you can't step out of your lane security-wise. Yeah, very true, very true. But there's another kind of business philosophy and leadership philosophy, and we would talk about this in special operations a lot too, that we want to make sure we're passing information down to the lowest level. And we talk about it in the Marine Infantry as well. Make sure everybody's informed so they can do the job, right? And I see what you're saying, Joe. Yeah, least privilege. Don't step out of your lane security-wise. That makes sense, man. Okay, that makes sense. But again, the other side of it is this. How can we the people, know what to do if we don't know, right? How can we support something if we don't know about it? Well, we certainly can't tear it down, which makes you wonder. Yeah, thanks, Joe. I appreciate it. Thank you. Makes you wonder, though. It makes you wonder, if we find out, are we all going to say, well, damn, what are we doing? Why are we spending money on this? Or why aren't we doing more? Or why didn't we know about this earlier? Someone is threatened 100%. That's why I think this is going to keep on going. It's going to keep on going. We're going to get more and more. We're going to learn more and more here. 100%. Yeah, I guess what I mean is there's no blanket top security clearance. Yes, Joe, 100%. I understand what you're saying, brother. Yeah, definitely. But it can go in a lot of directions. Your point is 100% true. There's no blanket top security clearance. People have SCII, secret compartmented information. They have need to know, or they don't have need to know, okay? And I think the disturbing thing for this whole thing is that Congress has been lied to. Now, I know in the military, there's a common sentiment like, yeah, well, I wouldn't trust them anyway because they're in and out of government. The intelligence professionals have the same attitude. They're in and out of government. They're not here as long as we are. I understand that. However, a duly elected representative of the people sitting on a committee that needs to know about things for oversight, that's just a good part of our government, checks and balances. This is how you don't get crazy stuff, which we have today with this UAP program, okay? So, Joe, again, I appreciate, very thought-provoking as always. Great question. Yeah, 100%. Awesome. All right, let me get back in to see who else here. Garen Bear is one. He's been there. Jason's been there. Mark's been there. Joe Saunders been there a bunch of times. Paul, most casualties are because of lack of intel. Very true. Lisa's been there. Brendan's been there. The Lady Heart USA. I believe that's Lady Ann. Is that you? Okay, Paul's been there. The Diamond Dog. Juan Wick's been there. Hey, man. Thanks, Juan Wick. I appreciate you. Best leader on YouTube. Big round of applause for Juan Wick. Juan Wick's going to give a round of applause for that one. Appreciate you, Juan Wick. Thanks, brother. Means a lot, man. Thank you. Jason, Jonathan. Yep. Okay. Got it. Thanks, lady. Lady Ann. Lady loves USA. Lady hearts USA. That's hard to say now. Okay, Cedric. And also, people don't have the same interests. Look at the scientists missing. They eyed at the idea of the tech being used for good on Earth and the people. Yeah. No, you're right. I think the count now, Cedric, the count is up to 17 scientists missing, if you guys can believe that. 17. This is freaking nuts. If you guys haven't voted in the poll yet, please vote in the poll. We got 24 votes now. Do you believe the U.S. government has recovered non-human craft? Yes, they've had it for decades. Maybe. The testimony is hard to ignore. Not sure. I need more evidence. No, it's all new secret technology. Right now, yes, they've had it for decades, is at 67%. The next one is no, it's all new secret technology. That's at 17%. Those are the two leaders right now. So get your vote in there so we can see where everyone stands, and let's move on here. And before we do that, actually, play a little bit of music. I've got this Ferocious Optimist podcast music here. That was created, of course, by AI. I didn't create this. I think this is it. Let me play it. That's it. Yeah, I think this is it.
Ferocious
Fire it up, baby. Fire it up in place. Ready to rock and roll.
Welcome
we do
to
like to have
the
fun, too.
Ferocious Optimist Podcast.
We cover specific topics. We cover aliens too, UAPs.
Welcome to the Ferocious Optimist Podcast.
And we also like to have a lot of fun. Friday's a lot of fun. Beautiful Friday. Welcome everyone. Got to use it. I created these things on one of the AIs and got to load them in here. So we're going to the next level. Who knows if I'll keep it? You guys know I'm a rocker, so I always have to have the rock as well too. But they made that for me. I was like, okay, sounds pretty good. We'll give it a try. Okay. Now, moving on to the next video. Here we go. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. If you're new here, please subscribe. It'd be great to have you here. And hit your notifications. Hit the bell for notifications, because a lot of people are telling me they don't know when I'm going live. They didn't know. And so just put the bell on for notifications. I guess that's a real thing. I know I'm not the best at all this, but I think it's actually a real thing. Okay, check this out. This is a guy, Mr. Nusatelli, Air Force veteran. He's going to talk about his experiences, okay? In the same hearing, under oath, before Congress. Listen up.
Later that night, while I was on duty, security guards at a critical launch site reported a bright, fast-moving object over the ocean. I responded to the incident. Chaos ensued over the radio as the object approached rapidly. I heard my friends screaming, "It's coming right at us, it's coming right for us, and now it's right here." Moments later, I heard them say that it had shot off and was gone. When I arrived on scene, I talked to 5 shaken witnesses who described a massive triangular craft larger than a football field that hovered silently for about 45 seconds over their entry control point before shooting away at impossible speed. About a week later, another patrol reported a light over the ocean behaving erratically, believing it might be an
Now, here's the thing.
unannounced
You can imagine when he first talked about this, people probably thought he was nuts. They're like, what are you talking about? This is ridiculous. This is ridiculi, right? He probably didn't want to talk about it, but he had 5 other people. He didn't see it. He showed up. They were all going nuts. Now, could they have made this up? Sure. Okay. But when you're a clearance holding Air Force officer, Air Force enlisted personnel, sergeants, all those things, there's more credibility than that. Maybe one kook could do it, but 5 of them together. And then he said the next week the same thing happened. He's under oath, okay? He can go to jail if he provides false testimony. So all these things lead you to think there's something there. Now, is it non-human intelligence? We're going to get to that. We're going to talk about that. Because I am, just like the thumbnail shows, I'm going to reveal something that I've never seen before. I didn't even know about until I was doing research for this video. I came across the NSA files that were released 4 days before the second dump of the UAP files from the Pentagon. And it's pretty unbelievable. And if you look at my new video, guys, if you haven't watched my new video, just scroll to it right now if you want, or you can do it later, okay? If you got your phone there, you're on your computer, whatever. The new thumbnail is what this latest thing looks like. The flare thing, everybody says is a flare. Well, guess what? They don't think it's a flare because under this program, Top Secret Umbra, in the 90s, NSA found these things too. They found 2 of them. Okay, so it's pretty nuts. So NSA had it. The Pentagon had it. There were different corroborating lines of evidence, okay, according to what I've found so far. But it's unbelievable because they reconstructed what it looks like, and that's it. They're saying, according to everything they have, the sensor data, this is what it would look like. The NSA said this. This is what it would look like. Okay, a star-shaped craft. Okay? Could it still be human? Maybe. But probability-wise, I got to say, I don't know. Non-human intelligence, probably highly likely. Just my gut telling me, right? But I might be wrong, obviously, okay? I'm saying there's a chance. There's definitely a chance of that, okay? Not to overhype it, because they've hidden technology from us before. They've hidden drones from us before, all these things like that. So who knows? But in my gut, it tells me, whoa, man, I don't know about that. I don't know if we can create something like that, okay? So if you take a look at my thumbnail for my latest video, the way it looked on the infrared looked like that. That's on this thumbnail. But the other one, okay, check it out. Anyway, I'm going to go on and on about this because it's nuts. It's absolutely freaking nuts, okay? And like I said, it's an 8-minute video I published today, but we could talk about this for 6 hours. There's so much out there, all right? So let's talk about Dave Grush. We just talked about Dylan Borman. We talked about, Nusatelli a little bit, but let's talk about David Grush. He's the bombshell that started it all. In July 26, 2023, former Air Force intelligence officer, National Geospatial Intelligence Agency, under oath, okay? He didn't just say UFOs are real. He said he was informed of a multi-decade crash retrieval and reverse engineering program. And the military has been misappropriating funds to shield these operations from congressional oversight. Okay, let's watch this video real quick. Let's check this out. I think this one is definitely worth viewing, if I still have it here. I think I do. Yes, I do. Okay, here we go. Let me just get to the beginning of him. All right, here we go.
Mr. Chairman, ranking members and congressmen, thank you. I'm happy to be here. This is an important issue, and I'm grateful for your time. My name is David Charles Grush. I was an intelligence officer for 14 years, both in the U.S. Air Force, both active duty Air National Guard.
And I see these 2 guys behind him. This is Jeremy Corbell. He's an investigative journalist that just made the movie Sleeping Dogs. Very good documentary. Check it out. This is Don Knapp. Bob Lazar was the one that reported to Don Knapp. He broke the Bob Lazar story from Area 51, when Area 51 became famous, okay? And Groom Lake and all these places in northeastern Nevada and in Utah, this was all Don Knapp, okay? The Skinwalker Ranch stuff, all that, that's all Don Knapp. Jeremy Corbell is kind of like the new Don Knapp, okay?
In reserve at the rank of major, and most recently from 2021 to 2023 at the National
I do want to say, okay, he's at the National
Geospatial Intelligence Agency, NGA.
So he's at NGA, okay. So he's a no-kidding high-level intelligence officer, okay? I've served in the interagency. I've worked in the intelligence community. And what I want to say is this, okay, is that he holds every credential you can imagine. He's eligible to be read into many, many programs on a need-to-know basis, right? But he has high credibility. I think he probably has had a polygraph examination as well, too. And so what I want to say here is that I watched a CIA officer talk about him, a retired older, he's a CIA affiliate, I think he's a physicist who was a CIA physicist, basically, okay, who said David Grush is a very senior intelligence officer. You know, even though he got out as a major because of all these issues, he was on track for very high level things. He was writing briefs for the president. He was, privy to a lot of these programs. He was the chief UAP investigator, I think, for, if not the Pentagon, then no, it's the NRO, the National Reconnaissance Office. Okay, so this guy's not a kook, right? He's not a kook. That's why this is a big deal. That's why the new movie, Age of Disclosure, if you haven't seen it yet, but I recommend it. It's very good. Why these guys are all credible. Marco Rubio's in there, right? Congressman Tim Burchett's in there. There are a few others in there as well, too. It's a bipartisan thing because none of these members of Congress like the fact that there's some shadow hand controlling information, okay, and saying, no, you can't know about this. They're like, well, wait a second. I'm elected by the people. I'm of the highest office. I'm of the highest level in the chain of command here. There are people in the executive branch who only answer the president. This is why they needed the president to say, release the files. Okay, you guys tracking? Put a 1 in the chat if you're tracking on that, okay? And I'll say it again, though. The important thing is people ask, well, why is President Trump the one who has to say release the files? Well, here's why. CIA, NSA, ABCD, EFG, every alphabet agency, FBI, all are in the executive branch. They all report to the president, okay? More or less. At the end of the day, the chief on the chain of command is the president. Even though congressmen and women, okay, congresspeople, congressmen are very high in the chain of command as far as being elected officials, right? They're not of the same reporting chain as, like, there's a judicial branch, right? The executive branch, okay, legislative branch. And so people within the CIA, FBI, NGA, you name it, DIA, they're all reporting a Pentagon, they're all reporting Department of Defense, Department of War, all reporting up the chain to the executive branch, to the president, okay? So when the president says now, release the files, this is a lawful order. And he put it in writing. He said, you're doing this. Now people can be in trouble. There's a coercive element to this. This has teeth now. So Congress isn't just saying, do it, do it, do it. For checks and balances purposes, Congress can't get in the business of the executive branch that way. That's why you'll see people say that, well, the executive branch just ignores and they can hide things and obfuscate and, all these things like that. So when the president is on board now and you have the House, the Senate, Congress, and the president on board, the head of the executive branch, this is when we start to shine a light on a lot of this stuff, okay? Well, so what remains to be seen now is, are they going to produce the best documents? Because if they don't, and Jeremy Corbell and Don Knapp and all these people I showed you in this clip here, and they come forward and they produce them, because Jeremy Corbell, if you watch Sleeping Dog, okay, you pay the $5 and rent it, and Don Knapp is in it as well. But Jeremy Corbell says if they don't, the people in these programs have already revealed things to me. So he's holding classified stuff right now, and he's got, lots of journalistic traps built. So if anything happens to him, the story goes public, okay? He said, I'm trying to give them a chance to release it on their own before I do it. And so now the president has said it. Okay, now that's why it looks like we're going to see a lot of disclosure coming up. That's why we're seeing these tranches. They're not doing it because, we've decided the people can see it now, the goodness of our heart. No, they are being provoked and forced. They're being forced to release these things. Give me a 1 in the chat if you agree with that. If you think that, if you believe this, that the Pentagon, and really it's the CIA, NSA, DIA, FBI, everyone else, they're calling it the Department of War Pentagon files, but they're coming in from all over the place, okay? By the way, I just had a friend of mine, and they'll call him a source, send me some stuff today, and I'm not going to reveal who it is because you guys will probably know him, but he sent me some stuff today that is from elsewhere out in the Alphabet community, links to things that I'm going to reveal later at another stream, okay? And I'll probably have this guest on as well. And I was shocked. I was like, there are 100 more files we haven't even talked about, and they're not in the DOW, not the Department of War website. It's somewhere else, okay? Just like the NSA released their stuff on their own. But now they're starting to trickle in under the Department of War, because this has been the appointed place where the files are going to be released. Okay, everyone tracking? All right, good. Give me another one in the chat, or give me a fire symbol in the chat, or a fist or something, that you're following along. I'm making sense. And if I need to repeat it, ask the questions now. Okay, I'll pause for a second, see if we have any questions in there, because I know I get excited about some of this stuff, and sometimes maybe I won't say it the best way. Okay. All right, let's see here. Okay, got it. Everyone's tracking. Good. Okay, I see you. Joe, Garin Bear, Matt, Ruby. What's going on, Ruby? Good to have you. Unsecure Signal, Jason, Cedric, Lady Ann, Lady A Hearts USA. Ruby's got the alien symbol. Unsecure Signal. Okay, everyone's good. All right, good. Awesome. Just making sure. You guys are creative. I love all these little symbols. This is really good. Purple crayon. Thanks. I need to eat some crayons right now, right? I heard they're good, actually. I don't know. Crayon time. Make like chocolate crayons. Sell them on a Marine base. This could go viral. We could have $1 million business, right? You and me, Jason. We're going to start selling these at 29 Palms in Camp Pendleton. Give this to your loved one. Give this to your Marine on this Marine Corps birthday. A box of chocolate crayons. I think that's hilarious, actually. All right. Here we go. Moving on. I don't have to say all that. All right, Lady Ann, got you. Okay, let's roll. Let's listen a little bit more to Mr. Grush here. I just want to emphasize to you, such a senior. I won't say senior. Okay, he was a GS-15, I think, colonel when he ended up, or he was operating at that level as a major. Okay, GS-15, equivalent of a colonel's position when he was a major in the National Geospatial Intelligence Agency, NGIA. High-level guy on the trajectory, on a path to go very, very high level, okay? Here we go.
The GS-15 civilian level, which is the military equivalent of a full bird colonel. I was my agency's co-lead in unidentified anomalous phenomena and transmedium object analysis, as well as reporting to the UAP task force, UAPTF, and eventually, once it was established, the All-Domain Anomaly Resolution Office, AARO. I became a whistleblower through a PPD-19 urgent concern filing in May 2022 with the Intelligence Community Inspector General.
So something else I want to say here, guys. It is significant. And why am I doing this? Because I'm talking about the credibility of the witness. Are you a credible witness or are you a kook? This isn't some guy stumbling out of bar drunk. It's not some farmer being like, look, there's a UFO, right? And I'm not saying the farmer's not credible. It's just, he's not in the know. He might have made a mistake. This guy's not making a mistake. What's important, though, is the way he became a whistleblower, a PPD-19. Like, he went through the formal filing process to become a whistleblower. He trusted in the system. He stayed within the system to be a whistleblower. Understand that. Who remembers this guy, Edward Snowden? Who remembers him? Give me a 1 in the chat if you remember Edward Snowden. Okay? Give me a 1 in the chat if you remember Edward Snowden. Okay, and I'll refresh your memory if you don't remember Edward Snowden. This is Edward Snowden. Here's Edward Snowden. Let's see. Okay, here we go. I'm going to share this instead. Here's Edward Snowden, the most famous whistleblower. He calls himself by Edward Snowden. Okay, but I want to say the difference of Edward Snowden is this. Here he is. The difference is this, guys. He did not go through a formal whistleblower process. And he went to Russia and basically gave the secrets away. Grush did not do this. Borland did not do this. Okay, Dylan Borland, David Grush, all these guys today went through a formal process within the system to raise their hand, trusting the system. Okay, and then within the system, some people were okay with them and helping them, and there were some other sneaky bad people doing crazy stuff to them from what they say. Okay, threats, discrediting, screwing with their careers, losing their security clearance. Stuff like that, which is terrible, okay? Because you want our whistleblowers are there for a reason. They're there for a reason, to protect us against the sneaky bastards that are out there trying to hijack our system and trying to steal from us. Okay. I heard another crazy story about some official, I don't even want to say it, a religious official, embezzling like $400,000 from his parish. I mean, it's just nuts. Okay. They got the devil in them. I'm telling you. All right. It's out there. It's out there. But this guy blows the whistle too short. He's blowing the whistle. Blow the whistle, Edward Snowden. He blew the damn whistle, but he didn't blow it in the club. You know what I'm saying? He wasn't in the club. David Grush was up in the club. Dylan Borland's up in the club. Snowden is outside the club blowing the whistle. What happens? Nobody likes him. Nobody likes him. He didn't use the formal whistleblower process and procedures. Okay? And because he didn't do that, he's our kook of the day. Okay? I don't like Snowden. I don't like him. I don't care what anybody thinks. I don't like him. And I don't like him because he didn't have the guts to come forward inside the system. I mean, he didn't even come to U.S. people. He like went and he blew the whistle to Russia. Okay? It's nuts. And I might have a story a little bit screwed up, but that's the story I'm sticking by because I'm a U.S. damn Marine, baby. Woo! Eating them crayons right now. Here we go. Semper Fi. Because that's how it is. That's the way I see it. He's full of crap. All right, let's listen to some more.
Following concerning reports from multiple esteemed and credentialed current and former military and intelligence community individuals that the U.S. government is operating with secrecy above congressional oversight.
Aha. There it is, above congressional oversight, the U.S. government. Because remember, when everyone says the government, you just think of everything. Everyone, Congress, Senate, President, freaking every part of the damn government. It's not. Okay, it's not. Let's again, the purpose of this channel is to upgrade your life, the Ferocious Optimist channel. For those of you who are new here, welcome. Remember to like, subscribe, and share. Welcome to the best chat in YouTube. But I want to say this, okay? I want to say not every part of the government's the same. So he's saying without congressional oversight, inside the government, meaning certain agencies, or we could call this the deep state, right? This is what they're talking about. Joe Saunders, man, I see you. Let me get to Joe real quick here. Joe, thank you, brother. Appreciate that, man. Let's see. First of all, I got to give you thanks. We got to give our celebration. I got to do all the formalities because I really appreciate you. Okay. Let me get in here. Damn it, I don't know what I'm doing. I can't, I'm not able to respond to this. Hold on one second. I'm messing this up, Joe. I'm messing it up. All right. Did I already respond to it? Oh, yeah, I did twice. Okay. And now, celebration music. Got to do the formalities, man. Got to do the formalities. Big round of applause for Joe Saunders. He's a friend of the Ben Pappas channel, damn it. I appreciate you, brother. Thank you. And everybody who's supporting me, I appreciate you too, but Joe Saunders, this is your moment. Thank you. Everyone, big round of applause. Get them up. Give me the clap emojis. Let's get it going. Let's support the channel. All right, let's get to the question now. Everyone's alert. Everyone knows. Ben, you brought up a great point. Thank you, Joe. Edward did not walk through the front door. He came in on the side with Booz Allen. How? Ooh, I don't know. I don't know, Joe. Did they ever figure that out if he was like a Russian agent? I don't know. This is a great point, Joe, actually, because he did not come through the front door. Sneaky, sneaky. Sneaky, sneaky. You know what I mean? So the point Joe is bringing up is important because when you come through the front door, we call this a blue badger, okay? In the IC, in the intelligence community, there are those who have green badges, those who have blue badges. The blue badges are the active duty, so to speak. You know, government, card-carrying, you're a full member of the IC. A green badger is a contractor. You still have high-level clearance, all the same clearances. It's just you're coming from a private company. And so what happens normally is that, let's say somebody retires from the CIA. They retire, they keep all their clearances. You got these clearances that are not easy to get, okay? You've been doing polygraphs your whole life, okay? You can just turn right around the next day, leave CIA, go back as a government contractor, okay, working for Booz Allen Hamilton or someone like that, because they hold the contract, making twice as much money as you're making before. Why not? Why wouldn't you do it? And you just basically go down the office, down the hall. All your friends are still there. A lot of people do that, okay? So, but you are held to a different government legal standard. You are treated differently. You don't have the same, authorities, but actually you might have the same authorities. You don't have the same the same, how do I say this? Like the UCMJ in the military. When you're a contractor for the military, you're not under the UCMJ. Okay. So just like a blue badge full member of the CIA is not under the same, is not the same as a government contractor holding a green badge, meaning they don't have the same, rules that govern them. Okay. The full government employee rules, the federal government rules. You're governed by Booz Allen, meaning you can be fired. Okay. Now the government could prosecute you if you do something screwy, but most of the time, it's just not the same level. Okay. And they can leave and go work for another company anytime. Okay. All right. Is that Joe, I think we're tracking on each other there, right there, right? Does that make sense? All right. Let's keep rolling. A lot of stuff. Okay. Unsecure Signal says he was sworn in. All right. Joe Saunders. Okay. Yes, Cedric. I don't understand how he got into the places where he was allowed. He was read in. That's what you mean. Unsecure Signal, you mean he was read in. Yeah, he was probably read into those programs, I'm sure. But still, I will tell you, Blue Badger versus Green Badger, the Blue Badgers don't always let all the Green Badgers into places, okay? And anybody who's been in the community knows what I'm talking about. But interestingly enough, the Green Badgers sometimes may have a lot more experience than some of the Blue Badgers because they've done it for longer, okay? And they might be that retired guy I told you about. Okay, awesome. Thanks, Joe. Appreciate it. What's going on, Jimmy? Yeah, that's it. They lack legal authority. I was on the right track, Jimmy Johns. Thanks, man. Okay, guys, let's go here. Cedric, AI said Snowden came in 2004 to the Army Reserve under Special Forces training program, but broke both his legs, then went to CIA under intelligence technology or IT, information technology, and then worked for Dell or Bell and went to Allen, Booz Allen, whatever. Thanks, Cedric. That's a great help. I appreciate that. All right, guys, let's keep going. Here we go.
With regards to UAPs. My testimony is based on information I've been given by individuals with a long-standing track record of legitimacy and service to this country. Many of whom also have shared compelling evidence in the form of photography, official documentation, and classified oral testimony to myself and my various colleagues. I have taken every step I can to corroborate this evidence over a period of 4 years while I was with the UAP task force, and do my due diligence on the individual sharing it. This is because of these steps, I believe strongly in the importance of bringing this information before you. I am driven by a commitment of both to truth and transparency, rooted in our inherent duty to uphold the United States Constitution and protect the American people.
So guys, I want to tell you something. If you ever come into my coaching programs, okay? If you ever come into my Ferocious Optimist coaching program or my inner circle, or you become a one-on-one client with me, something I talk about frequently is identity. And I'm connecting this to what would motivate Dave Grush, Mr. Grush here, to do what he did, knowing he's probably going to meet a lot of flack, okay? I'm going to tell you, in my service in the Marine Corps, 23 years as a commissioned officer, active duty in the United States Marine Corps, holding all kinds of clearances. Okay, I've had very high clearances as well. I've been read into programs, blah, blah, blah. Worked in the intelligence community for a bit as well, okay? That there are people in there who definitely don't do it for the money. So as cynical as sometimes we get saying it's all about the money, I will tell you for a lot of government employees, a lot of military, it's not all about the money, okay? It's all about the identity. It's about the mission, the sense of purpose. The Marine Corps' best recruiting ad it ever made was with the young guy killing the dragon with a sword and the young princess loving him like, whoa, all excited. And the king, whoa, knighting him for doing that, okay? Think about how that is for a young man who's like 16, 17, 18. Hits him on every level. You're a badass. It shows all the guys like, whoa, bowing down to him. He killed the dragon. He's the one who earned the sword. It goes, and one of you guys tell me in the chat if one of you enlisted because of that ad. But I love it, okay? It's like Conan. I was a big Conan fan. I want to be Conan, right, with my sword. But, he holds up the sword, lightning strikes. He freaking kills the dragon. The princess is like, whoa, and there's the king of the whole world, right? The king of the freaking castle. And he's like, you've done it, my son. He knighted him, and all the little kids are looking at him and like admiring, and he walks out a Marine. It's like, United States Marines. That's it, man. I'm going. You're going. So it's the mission, the identity, the sense of purpose these people are shaped into. Grush could not live with the fact that this was not being told that it was outside of congressional oversight. Oaths were being broken. Laws were being broken. And he said, I know police officers like this, cops like this, and I know, Mark, you probably know quite a few, but who are like, no, this is really my mission. I'm on a mission in life to do the right thing. I've got one life, and I'm gonna do the best I can. I think sometimes we get so cynical and we think, well, what's in it for them? There's something sneaky, Machiavellian in it for them. People get jaded later on, but some of these young guns, though, okay, and not everybody, but I'm saying you can get jaded, but not everybody does. Not everybody does. Like, I think Grush definitely had it in his identity that this is how I want to live my life. This is who I am. It's more painful for me not to speak up than it is to speak up. It's more painful for me just to realize I'm just like them and I'm not going to say anything. Remember I talked about the architecture of secrecy and how cultures are enforced from bad leadership or from this culture in a Fortune 500 company or a Fortune 100 or a government agency where we don't say anything. No one speaks up. No one says anything. You come in there, you're new, and you're like, that's weird. That's freaking weird. That's not what right looks like. Okay? I could connect the dots to hazing. Instance of hazing. We all know hazing's wrong, but all of a sudden you get kind of brutalized and get used to it, and you're like, I don't know, this is what we do. Okay? This is groupthink. Someone brought this up in the chat. We have the smartest chat on YouTube. On Monday's live stream, one of you brought up groupthink. This is groupthink. Grush is like, I always said I wouldn't be that person. I'm telling you, I can see his identity. I've been doing this for a long time now, okay? As a leader, as a coach, I'm a full-time coach. I'm kind of, I guess in a way, a practical psychologist, okay, as a coach, where I have to know human psychology, human needs. I have to know the core vital human interests of people. I have to know their key motivations, all those things like that. I teach this in my coaching membership. I teach it to my one-on-one clients. I teach it in my inner circle. I've taught it to people I've led, okay? And I've had to use it to understand people in negotiations. And I'm telling you, this guy to me says his identity is I'm the white knight. I'm the white knight. I'm the one who does not give in. I'm the one who reports it when it's wrong. I swore this oath. Why do we swear this oath? Is this just a lie? Okay, so that's what I'm saying. If you guys believe me, what I'm saying, if you agree with me that this is all about identity for him, all about his own purpose, mission, probably religion woven in there too. Okay, give me a 1 in the chat. If you don't agree with me, just put a 0, and it's no problem. Okay, we'll target you for removal later. We'll have no dissent in Ben's chat. No, I'm just kidding. This is your chat, damn it. Best chat on YouTube. Round of applause for you guys. One more. Best chat on YouTube. Let's go. Fire it up. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. If you think someone's gonna get something out of this, share it with them. We're rolling, man. We're rolling. Give me that 1 in the chat. All right. Awesome. I see you. True. Thanks, Matt. Appreciate it. And that's why we do the lives, because, these ideas come and I can't share them in an 8-minute video. That's for sure. Cedric. Okay. I see it. Let's see. The Diamond Dog, Unsecure Signal, Cedric, Jason, Grand Bear, Mark, Joe Saunders, 1 for sure. Karen Bear, lots of claps. Thank you. Jonathan Davis, Matt Byrne, the Diamond Dog, Ruby. Thank you, Ruby. See it, the 1, Unsecure Signal. Number 1, Ichiban. All right, we're getting the 1. All right, let's keep rolling. See, because there's a lot to think about here when you really think about it. Like, why is he doing this? And then you can form a better decision of the credibility. And remember, every decision you make as a leader, as a strategist, is based on your assumptions. So if we assume all whistleblowers are full of shit, we're not going to believe any of them. But if we really take a look at the credibility of the witness and we understand what their motivation is, and we then look at our assumptions, well, we assume he seems credible. So my assumption is that he's telling the truth and he believes what he's saying. Is it what he thinks it is? Maybe not. Was someone lying to him? Possibly. Were they trying to just plant all kinds of things to see if he'd take the bait? Maybe. I don't know. Maybe. But I think he's a credible witness and that he believes what he's saying. Okay? I don't think he's confused at all.
I'm asking Congress to hold our government to this standard and thoroughly investigate these claims. But as I stand here under oath now, I am speaking to the facts as I've been told them. In the U.S. Air Force, in my National Reconnaissance Office, NRO, reservist capacity, I was a member of the UAP task force from 2019 to 2021. I served at the NRO Operations Center on the director's briefing staff, which included the coordination of the presidential daily brief and supporting variety of contingency operations, which I was the Reserve Intelligence Division Chief backup. In 2019, the UAP Task Force Director.
Scott says Grush is the GOAT of whistleblowers. Him and Bob Lazar. Yeah, Bob Lazar, his stories are wild, but a lot of them are coming true now. I say true. A lot of more evidence is coming out supporting his claims and what he said. All right, let's keep listening.
Asked me to identify all special access programs and controlled access programs.
So he didn't seek this out on his own. This is the next thing to know, okay? Guys, I'm doing this for you as much as I'm doing it for me. Trust me, because I want to know what the hell's going on. I don't want to just be like, head in the sand, I'm going to have a beer, I don't care, not thinking about it. I want to know, what is this, okay? So together we can both learn, but then I can have a beer, put my head in the sand, and say I don't care, all right? Check it out. My thing is this. Remember, let's rewind this. He was directed to be the UAP program director to identify all special access programs about UAP UFOs. So he was told to find these things, which he did. Here we go.
All special access UAP Intelligence Division Chief backup. In 2019, the UAP Task Force Director asked me to identify all special access programs and controlled access programs, also known as SAPs and CAPs.
Okay, so SAPs and CAPs, he was told by the program director assigned him to locate all these special access programs, okay, and controlled access programs.
He needed to satisfy our congressionally mandated mission, and we were direct report at the time to the DepSecDef. At the time, due to my extensive executive level intelligence support duties, I was cleared to literally all relevant compartments and in a position of extreme trust, both in my military and civilian capacities.
I saw one thing real quick. Unsecure Signal said, look how serious Jeremy's face is. Can you imagine if he was doing this in the background? He's like rolling his eyes as he says something, whatever. He loses credibility, okay? So he's got to keep it together. He can't have any funny thoughts, nothing. Hours of just keeping it together. So that's a funny observation, though. I think the same thing like that.
I was informed in the course of my official duties of a multi-decade UAP crash retrieval and reverse engineering program.
Multi-decades crash retrieval UAP reverse engineering program, okay? It's in my video. Watch my latest video published today. Watch the one Sunday if you haven't seen it. That one's longer. It's like 12 minutes long, but it's really good, okay? And then the other one, if you haven't seen my first video from last Wednesday, go check that one out too, or it's like 2 Wednesdays ago, something like that, about 2 weeks ago. That one's out there as well too. But all right, let's keep rolling.
To which I was denied access to those additional read-ons when I requested it.
But he was made aware of a multi-decade crash retrieval and reverse engineering program. This is nutso, right? Absolutely crazy, groundbreaking stuff. Because again, why? Who he is why, to me, it's groundbreaking. His credibility, the believability, his position, the fact that he's not some guy, he's not Jeremy Corbell, right? He's not an investigative journalist. He had a job to do. And part of the congressional oversight, he's like, okay, yes, boss, I'll go check it out, make some phone calls. I have clearance for everything. You can't deny me because I have authority from the director. I have, Congress backing me up on the authority that I need to find things out. I'm an investigating officer. I have clearance. I need to know, where is it? And he knocked on the doors. He found the doors, first of all, because he knew all the code words. And they're like, yeah, nah, you're not coming in. Big problem. But now, the biggest elephant in the land came over, stomping over, and, waving his trunk around, was like, friggin' release everything, okay? And I think they're going to have to release stuff, okay? Because unlike the Epstein files, President Trump's like, this serves me really well. And honestly, in a way, when you think about it, we benefit because we benefit from it, okay? We're going to probably learn more because President Trump benefits from having this thing going on, this release of the UAP files, because it distracts you from the Iran war. So as we go in and people say, they're just distracting us. Who's they? They're just trying to distract us from the Iran war. The people in these special access programs don't give a crap. They're running around with, let me tell you something. You think they care about Iran as much as they care about the alien spacecraft, if there is one, and the alien bodies, and like the lasers and stuff like that, the particle beam weapons and massive new energy sources and crazy propulsion systems? I'm telling you, they're in their little tunnel. They're not thinking about any of the real world stuff, any of the regular world stuff probably, okay? So when they say they, I think this distraction is beneficial. So Trump's going to push harder for release of the files. People are happy. Maybe ratings will go up. Maybe people will see this as a move for transparency. Maybe he'll look better in his presidency, okay? So I think right now there's going to be more disclosure going on because does it distract from the Iran war? Sure it does. Sure it does. Of course it does. Like we said, we're being distracted. Yes, okay? And I think at the same time, because it benefits the administration, they're going to push. They're going to do this every 2 weeks, new tranche. And they're going to push on people to be like, release more. And if they're like, boss, we can't release this one. This one's Blue Force technology plus the aliens. All right, maybe not that one, but something else. Release it, okay? So that's me. That's what I think. And if you haven't voted in our poll yet, vote in our poll. We're going to get to our next video here in a second. Let me see if you haven't voted in the poll. Let's see where we're at with our poll. Yeah, Ruby for sure. Distractions from Cuba too. Ruby says distractions from Cuba too. Honestly, I think so. But here's the thing. It's a double-edged sword, right? Two-edged sword. The Trump administration benefits by this distraction, okay? So what does that mean? It means that they're going to push for do more. Keep feeding the people the elephant. The people are the elephant. Keep feeding the elephant a peanut so that people don't stampede. And when they stampede, Republicans are going to lose the election, okay? So of course they're all pushing for more disclosure. All right? Got to keep the people happy, like the Republicans are doing something. All right? Not to be too cynical, but all right, 40 votes in our poll. Do you believe the U.S. government has recovered non-human craft? Yes, they've had it for decades. Now we're down to 62%. Maybe the testimony is hard to ignore, 8%. Not sure, I need more evidence, 12%. No, it's all new secret technology, 17%. Okay, so we're almost at the same place, but we went a little bit higher on maybe this time, I think, than last time. We're at 67%, was a high water mark for yes. So if you haven't voted yet, please vote. Hey, Matt. Thank you, man. I appreciate it. Matt Burns says, I get it. Cedric, yes, I hope we don't go to Cuba. Me neither, unless we're going there to hang out for Mexico instead. Maybe. Unless we're going for Cuba for vacation. Yeah, exactly. Lady Ann, exactly. I feel focused, not distracted. Me too. It's funny. Do you guys agree Mr. Greer is a cuckoo bird? I mean, I don't know, man. I've only seen him on one interview, but everybody's telling me, why isn't Greer testifying? Why this? I don't know. Some people say he's nuts. So, as Cedric's saying, let's see. Okay, guys, let's move on here to the next one. So here's the thing. Grush just didn't say, let's talk about the significance of Grush a little bit more. He didn't just say UFOs are real. He said, I was informed of a multi-decade crash retrieval and reverse engineering program, and the military has been misappropriating funds to shield these operations from congressional oversight. Huge. Misappropriating funds is a federal crime, okay, an allegation of a federal crime. Under oath, on C-SPAN, and the response from the Pentagon, nothing, okay? And even more so, we say the Pentagon, but let's get down. The crash retrieval program actually sits within the CIA, okay? That's according to a lot of the whistleblowers. So the Pentagon does have a conduit to it. So when people are saying the Pentagon's hiding things, of course, I'm sure they are, but it's actually who's the best at hiding things for all time? The CIA, come on, okay? And again, nothing against the CIA for the job they do. They're damn good at what they do. But these secret compartments inside of a secret compartmented organization, okay? It's the easiest place to hide stuff like this. And then they take it outside of the agency into a private contractor, okay? Government contractor. But here's what most people are missing about Grush. Before he went public, he went through every proper channel, okay? As I said before, he's a proper whistleblower. This is the way he did it. He actually filed with the Inspector General, as we said. So that's why I find his testimony and Dylan Borland's testimony to be very powerful. He filed also with the Intelligence Community Inspector General. Okay, so the Pentagon Inspector General of the Intelligence Community, he did everything by the book, and they still came after him. Okay, this tells you something about the system. When you follow the rules and the same system still destroys you, the system isn't broken. The system is working exactly as designed. Someone designed it this way. That scares me, honestly. Okay, we talked about Dylan Borland a little bit. I'm going to go to his opening statement so we can take a look at this. We watched his exchange with Nancy Mace, but I'm actually going to go to Dylan Borland to his opening statement here. All right, here we go.
Good morning, members of the task force and the committee. I would like to express my gratitude for being invited to testify to the current task force created under the People's.
And I want to say something. So some people might wonder, well, Ben, why are you going back and reviewing these whistleblowers? Okay, I'm going to tell you why. This is the basis of our assumption for making decisions. We are looking at all these files being released. Many people are saying these are fakes, these are deep fakes, these are, AI, these aren't real. They're distracting us. Who's they? They're distracting us, this, that, and the other thing. When it all started from pushes outside of the government, it all started with people being whistleblowers, offering evidence, saying, hey, look what they have hidden. Look at the files they have hidden. So you got to remember, these files we're seeing today, guys, we got to understand this. The files we're seeing today were taken, okay? Taken and passed on to journalists. The journalist said, look, I got this from a whistleblower. If you don't come clean and put it up for public view, if you don't come clean with it and disclose it, I'm going to reveal it, okay? So the Pentagon, by virtue of them publishing this, is already telling you that these are real. And it's backstopped by the journalists who had it before it was revealed. Okay, this is what I've learned. This is the eureka moment, okay? That it's one of those things where, it's like a security check. Do you have the code word? I have the code word. You have it? I have it. We both have it, okay? It's not like they were like, you guys have files in there. We know you got files and you're going to release them, damn it, okay? Release those freaking files. And the Pentagon's like, well, we do have files. I guess we better create some files. We better create these files like fast, like right now. Smitty, get on the friggin' Grok. Get on Gemini. Get on ChatGPT. Make me some damn UAP files now, pronto. We got to start releasing stuff because we know you got them. Okay, no, it didn't go like that. How it went was this. And guys, give me a 1 in the chat if you're tracking this. Give me a 1 in the chat. The people inside the programs, okay, they're the ones who found the stuff, stole it, took it, okay, copied it. Yes. Were they going against their security clearance? Yes, they were. Could they get in trouble for that? Yes. Should they lose their clearance for that? By following the rules? Yes, you should. And they did, okay? But they took it from the servers, gave it to Jeremy Corbell, to Don Knapp, I guess Don Knapp and Jeremy Corbell revealed the other day, because now I'm cuckoo with this. I'm watching this all the time, right? I'm like obsessed. They said there are 100 other journalists involved that will not come forward, that are all working in there. The leaders of this are Jeremy Corbell and Don Knapp, but there are 100 other journalists, they said, that all this information is spread loaded. Okay, they all have copies. Okay, and I might be exaggerating. They all have copies, but there are more than one copy out there. Okay, and he did say there are 100 other journalists involved. These whistleblowers took stuff, and there's more than Dylan Borland, there's more than David Grush. They took it off the files, the servers, and they're like, why don't people know about this? Okay, this is like national security concern, and they gave it to the journalists. And then the journalists pushed on the Pentagon, pushed on the CIA, pushed on everybody in the government and said, look, we got this stuff. We know where it came from. We have testimony from a whistleblower. Okay, my source is protected, but you have people in your organization who are providing stuff. And if you don't come clean, okay, so eventually they approached the House enough, Congress saw this stuff, was like, holy crap, Representative Luna, Nancy Mace, Tim Burchett, okay, Burleson, and, both Republican and Democrat. I think I named all Republicans there, but Republican and Democrat both said, yeah, let's do it. They held the hearings. They showed the stuff, okay? And now they're demanding that it comes forward. Conveniently enough, okay? Conveniently enough, the Epstein files came out. All right? So, and again, I'll go back to it. The reason why this stuff's coming out big time now, sure, it was being pushed before. The testimonies, the hearings came out before Epstein, for sure. But why now? Why at this time, right? Because the Trump administration, President Trump knows, and a lot of his, his team, this is an ace in the hole. This can only help us because we haven't done anything wrong. If we put this out as transparency, feed the people a peanut, we tend to win. Then Epstein hit, and whoa, shit, now we got to distract from Epstein too, okay? So what a perfect thing. What a perfect thing. And again, we benefit because more and more is going to come out about it. But again, this wasn't something, because people say it's all deep fake, AI fake. It was vetted by the journalists, taken from whistleblowers. Now, did the whistleblowers create it on AI? Impossible, because they took it off a server, okay? They took it off a server, gave it to them. Then they acknowledged it. The Pentagon's acknowledging it. The NSA is acknowledging. They're all acknowledging this is a real thing, okay? Oh, wait, Joe Saunders, I see you, man. Joe Saunders, let me get this. Thank you so much, brother. We got to do our formalities real quick here. We got to give you a thank you. Oh, okay, time to reply nope, you can keep going, Joe. You don't have to shut up. Round of applause for Joe Saunders real quick, everybody. Thank you, Joe. Appreciate it. Fired up. And you guys, give me a one in the chat if you're tracking what I'm saying. If you're picking up what I'm putting down, give me a one in the chat. Joe Saunders, thank you so much. Appreciate your support, brother. Okay, let's get into Joe's question really fast because I'm going nuts over here. I'm on a roll. Last one, and I will shut up. This is Joe Saunders. Yippee-ki-yay. Whistleblower has kind of become synonymous with book and movie. Just saying. Yeah, maybe. But the price you pay for this whistleblower stuff, man, I don't know. I think age of disclosure, I think you have a good point there. Is there some self-interest involved? Maybe. But if you hear about the threats that Grush has gone under, he's losing his livelihood. He has to do something else. He can't serve in the intelligence community anymore. This guy isn't like trying to be a Hollywood actor. I mean, okay, you know what I'm saying? Maybe a book deal. Yeah, maybe he thought about that. But for every one we see, for every David Grush, are probably 20 or 30 other people that maybe were close to the deal he has, or not the deal, close to the level of knowledge he has about what's going on, but never have this level of notoriety, not being celebrated this much, okay? There are other people who have come forward from what Jeremy Corbell has said, and they provide information, but they don't want to come forward. They don't want anyone to know their names. They're just giving him stuff, all on an anonymous, secret tip basis, okay? So Joe brings up a good point. We have to keep our head in a swivel and, scrutinize these things, but I think there's deeper motivation than that, personally. That's what I think, okay? So thank you, Joe. Appreciate it, though. Keeping us honest, man. All right. Everybody's tracking what I'm saying? I got lots of ones in here. Until I see an alien. Yeah, I hear you. Yup, Ben. I see it. Okay. I see it. It's in translated. Okay, I'm tracking y'all. Okay, thank you. Still following along. Good. Everybody, Ruby, Scott Wheel, Jason, Paul. Okay, got it. All right, let's roll. Here we roll. Let's listen a little bit more.
Chamber and the American public. As an American citizen, veteran, and intelligence community professional, it is an honor and a privilege to serve under oath before you on behalf of our country. I speak for myself and no former agency or company I have been previously affiliated with. My name is Dylan Borland, a former 1N1 geospatial intelligence specialist for the United States Air Force in an active duty enlisted capacity from 2010 to 2013. I've also been employed with BAE Systems and Intrepid Solutions as a senior analyst, expert in analyzing video, radar, and advanced electro-optical imagery for official identification of aerial order of battle, as well as naval and ground order of battle. I'm a federal whistleblower, having testified to both the ICIG and ARROW with direct...
Now, do you hear? This is important. When you first hear this, if you haven't walked the dog the way we are walking the dog tonight, where he said, I am a federal whistleblower, meaning he falls under federal protections, okay, meaning he did the right process, just like David Grush, meaning all the things we talked about. He came in through the front door, not the side door, right?
firsthand knowledge of and experience testify to both the and ground order of battle, official identification of aerial order of battle, as well as naval and ground order of battle. I'm a federal whistleblower, having testified to both the ICIG and ARROW with direct firsthand knowledge of and experience with craft and technologies that are not ours and are reportedly operating without congressional oversight. Because of my direct knowledge of the reality of certain legacy UAP programs, my professional career was deliberately obstructed, and I have endured sustained reprisals from government agencies for over a decade. From 2011 to 2013, I was stationed at Langley Air Force Base, Virginia, conducting 24-hour.
Okay, this is where he's going to tell his story, but he was subjected to reprisals for over a decade. His career was destroyed, right? Security clearance pulled, all those things like that. He has no way to work right now because he's too well known. Okay, no way to go back in the government, anything like that. Okay, so again, they take a real risk. So if it's a book deal, a movie deal, it hasn't happened yet. This is one of the main dudes. It hasn't happened. He hasn't made any money off this. Same thing with Grush, okay? Now, benevolent organizations might be helping them by now, but as of 2023, they were, in a rough way. If you watch Sleeping Dog, you'll see that with Jeremy Corbell. It's very good. Age of Disclosure is very good, too. Okay, let's listen to his story.
For operations via manned and unmanned aerial vehicles for Special Operations Forces in the global war on terror. During the summer of 2012, my team was on standby for weather, and I returned to my barracks on base, and at approximately 0130, I saw an approximately 100-foot equilateral triangle take off from near the NASA hangar on the base. The craft interfered with my telephone.
Now, this is the same type of craft that Nusatelli, the Air Force officer, his team saw as well, too, okay? Same type of craft, the equilateral triangle craft. Could it be man-made? Maybe. But according to the things that they're talking about here, I don't think so.
Did not have any sound, and the material it was made of appeared fluid or dynamic. I was under this triangular craft for a few minutes, and then it rapidly ascended to commercial jet level in seconds, displaying zero kinetic disturbance, sound, or wind displacement. Some years after that experience, I was further exposed to classified information from the UAP legacy crash retrieval program through a sensitive position I held within a special access program. During this time, intelligence officers approached me in fear for their own careers, citing misconduct within these programs and similar retaliation that I was already enduring at this time. These issues include medical malpractice committed by Veterans Affairs staff, denial of work I performed while enlisted in the United States Air Force, forged and manipulated employment documents, workplace harassment, including colleagues being directed to not speak with me, manipulation of my security clearance by certain agencies, blocking, delaying, and ultimately removing my ability to be employed within the IC.
You see, this is what I'm talking about. So crazy.
The retaliation I face and the retaliation against individuals I know who worked in these programs is what convinced me in March 2023 to become a whistleblower. I came forward out of concern for people's lives and to ensure I did everything I could to let our elected representatives know the truth about what is really happening in the executive branch.
You see, now this is where he's saying in the executive branch. That doesn't mean the president. It means the agencies, right? The intelligence agencies, CIA, DIA, FBI, State Department, okay? All these different things like that. But mainly executive branch, he's talking about the intelligence community, okay? So, private firms, he came forward to protect other people that he knew were going through a lot, okay, that were having things happen to them. So I bring this up because, again, we're talking about the cover up here, not just about the craft, not just about what is this, what's that. But again, to me, what brings real credibility to this whole thing and believability is, why are they trying to cover it up so much? If it's a deep AI fake, there's nothing to really hide. Think about this. So to everybody who's commented on my videos, okay, out there and said, yeah, it's just deep fake AI for sure. That's just not real. Well, why would they go through all this trouble to discredit these people? Why would they go through trouble unless it's all a big lie, right? But I don't think so. You're under oath. You go through all this process, all this difficulty of getting before Congress, talking to these journalists, putting yourself through all these trials and tribulations for some elaborate hoax. Who's paying the bills? You see what I'm saying? The math ain't mathin', right? It's not adding up. So, except if it's a credible witness and they're telling the truth. So that's why I think that, could some of the files be fabricated? Maybe. But again, if Jeremy Corbell said, hey, I've got this thing and I know exactly what it is. I'm going to release it. And they're like, yeah, sure, whatever. You don't have it. Then he started releasing stuff in like 2017, 2019. You guys have to understand this. If you look, 2018, 19, he was releasing things. And the Pentagon's like, whoa, probably spit out their coffee. CIA was like, wow, how did they get there? And he said, what is this? Aliens are real. And then he told them, look, you better disclose it or I'm going to disclose it. Okay, so what I'm saying to you is that he said, I know you know. And now you got to do something. I'm going to push this to come out or you're going to come clean. They never came clean. So he pushed Congress. Congress pushed the president. President's like, it fits my agenda right now. Yeah, release it. I don't care. You heard President Trump. He's like on Air Force One eating a hamburger. And they're like, what about aliens, sir? He goes, I don't know. A lot of people talk about it. I don't talk about it. You know, he's like, Obama talked about it. He shouldn't have. That's classified. Maybe I'll save him. Maybe I'll release everything. He's like, I don't talk about it. People talk about it. I don't talk about it. In other words, this is an ace in the hole. And he might know some things. I mean, he was the one that founded the Space Force too. I don't know. He probably knows a lot. But if they're hiding things again from the president, multiple presidents, crazy stuff. Okay, let's keep going. But to me, this is really important to the whole believability of the files, is the credibility of the witnesses. Are these credible witnesses? Now, we could have gotten here and watched this and been like, I don't know, this guy's a kook. Come on. Where did they pull this freak up from, right? Where did this idiot come from? But not a single one so far we can say that about, right? Give me a 1 in the chat if you agree with me that these are some credible witnesses. Give me a 1 in the chat if you think these are credible witnesses. Give me a 0 if you don't think so. All right, and we'll keep on moving here. On to our next one. Dylan Borland has done what he needed to do for us. Okay. So next, if you haven't seen this one, I played it on Monday, but if you're new here, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Okay. And share this with somebody if you think they're going to get something out of this for sure. But then also subscribe, okay? I'm always surprised how many people watch these live streams and also the videos. But then YouTube will give me the analytics and say, yeah, only like 9% of the people who watch are subscribed, or 10% of the people who watch are subscribed. And I'm always surprised at that. So please subscribe. Helps out the channel and helps us so that as it grows, we can investigate more things together, and I can get more guests on the show as well too as it grows and as I do more and more interviews. All right. Let's take a look here. If you haven't seen this one yet, I think this one's really good. I played it on Monday. I played it in my video today. But this is the MQ-9 Reaper firing a Hellfire missile at a UAP, and it bounces off. Check this out. Okay, if you haven't seen this one, if you didn't see it Monday, here's your next chance. Watch this. Representative Burleson's actually the one that brought this up. Okay, and I'm going to see this right here is at minute 47. I'm going to play the whole, just a little beginning as well, too, because I want you guys to see who brought this up.
That I've been, I want to queue up a video that I've been given. And as before it starts, I'm going to describe, this was taken October 30th of 2024. This video is of an MQ-9 drone tracking an orb, or this object, off the coast of Yemen. You'll see that another MQ-9 launched a Hellfire missile. That you cannot see that drone, and so I'm not going to explain it to you. You'll see exactly what it does.
All right, I'm gonna fast forward to it. Here we go. Watch closely. Here it comes, right there. Okay, did you guys see that? I'm gonna play it again. Here we go. Play it again. Ready? You're going to see in the top left of your screen the Hellfire missile come in, fired from a second MQ-9 Reaper drone, and it hits it and bounces off. I've seen Hellfires, super powerful. They always hit their target, but they always destroy their targets too, okay? And now you can see the MQ-9, the second one that's targeting,
it zooms out.
Okay, and you see the drone. There's the drone. Or the UAP. There's the UAP. Still going. Survived the hit.
So
and you saw it tumbled and spun a little bit, but not that much really happened to it. Okay, not much at all. It was fine. Still flying afterwards, which is nuts. Okay, so again, when I first saw this and then it disappeared, I was like, what in the hell? Yeah, it's wild stuff. Exactly. It was wild stuff, as Lady Ann said. Let me see here. Yeah. Definitely crazy stuff. Hey, thanks, Unsecure Signal. Appreciate you liking it. You guys don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. As I've said, it helps us out. D-Stu, welcome. Good to have you here. All right. Let's keep on rolling. Okay? There's a lot to talk about. So, let me say it again, though. A Hellfire missile, one of the most advanced air-to-ground weapons in the U.S. arsenal, just bounced off this object. The Pentagon had this footage. Congress had to ask for it. This is concerning. You don't think they should show this? And when they got it, they showed it publicly for the first time, and the room went silent. I went silent. When I first saw this, I was like, holy shit. I couldn't believe it. What does physics say about that? Okay. What does your understanding of material science say about that craft and the Hellfire hitting it? What does common sense tell you? Well, it tells you this. There's nothing on Earth that would survive the hit from that Hellfire. No aircraft would survive that. Honestly, no tank, no building, nothing. Why do we put Hellfires on our freaking MQ-9 Reapers? Because they're devastating. Okay, I've seen them in action, and they are something else. And they have different variants too. There's anti-armor. There's a thermal barrack. There's an HE, high explosive. All these different things. Okay. So let me ask you guys this. I want you to drop your theory in the chat. What do you think that little UAP was made of? What do you think that craft was made of? That it could bounce off? That the Hellfire would bounce off? Does it have a force field? Or what could it be made of? Okay? And again, I'll ask you again for our poll. 4 hours ago, 44 votes right now. Do you believe the U.S. government has recovered non-human craft? 61% say yes, they have had it for decades. 7% say maybe. The testimony is hard to ignore. 14% say not sure, I need more evidence. That's grown over the course of this. 18% now, that's grown by 1%. No, it's all new secret technology. Okay. Got it. Well, vote in the poll if you haven't had a chance to vote in the poll yet, because I'm going to change up the poll here in a second. All right. We're going to put up a second poll. All right. And I'm going to put this up right now, actually. I'm going to put up a new poll right now. Okay. Bear with me 1 second. What's the real reason they're keeping it secret? What's the real reason they're keeping it secret? Okay. Option 1, protecting trillion-dollar energy industries. Spell this right. Protecting trillion-dollar energy industries. Option 2, national security. We genuinely can't know. National security. We genuinely can't know. Option 3, military technology advantage. Okay, and option 4, the truth would collapse public trust in government. Ooh. The truth would collapse public trust in government. Oh, that's not too long. Let me say this. The truth would collapse public. I'll just say truth. Truth would collapse public trust in public trust. Okay, that's it. That's all I got. All right. I say protecting big money energy industries. National security. We can't know. Okay, there it is. I can start. Here we go. Ready? Boom. New poll is up. Everyone vote in the new poll. The results of the last poll are up. The new poll. What's the real reason they're keeping it secret? 1, protecting big money energy industries. 2, national security we can't know. 3, military technology advantage. 4, Truth would collapse public trust. Ooh, right out of the gate, 3 votes. 3 votes right away. Now, truth would collapse public trust is in the lead. But coming up close is protecting energy industries. It's like a race, like an exciting race. All right, it is time for a little energy drop. I'm going to fire it up in place. Fire yourselves up right now, baby. Let's get a little music going, a little energy drop going. Oh, yeah. Take a little drink of water. Get ready to go. Get a little coffee.
Let the
Get your
energy
ferocious optimist
ignite.
mug if you've got one. All right.
Take it to the red line.
I got one of
Raise
these,
the
too.
pressure, raise the tide.
Sprite Zero. It's good stuff.
Raise the pressure, raise the tide.
All right. We're fired up. Let's go. On to the next one. Welcome if you're new here. Like, subscribe, and share. We cover some serious topics. We talk geopolitics, strategy, war, UAPs, all that stuff, but we also have a lot of fun, too. And welcome to the best chat in YouTube. Best chat time in YouTube. Round of applause for best chat in YouTube. You guys give yourselves a round of applause, damn it. Absolutely awesome. We got to keep the energy up, keep it fun. Let's do this. You guys are the best. Fire it up for yourselves, damn it. All right, here we go. We're moving. Now, here we go, on to the next one. Now, let's talk about something called Immaculate Constellation. If you've heard of Immaculate Constellation, give me a 1 in the chat. If you haven't heard of it, give me a 0. Okay? I want to see where we stand on this right now. If you've heard of Immaculate Constellation, put a 1 in the chat. If you watched my video from today, you've heard of it, okay? If you haven't heard of it, put a 0 in the chat. If you're new here, tell me what you think, okay? And don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Yeah, we got to put some music on top of them UAP videos. I know. But I got to keep you advancing, man. I got to keep advancing one step at a time. Cedric, I do, though. You're right. And then we could have like some dancing people behind me when I'm talking about them. Go absolutely nuts. All right, Joe Saunders. Ruby has not heard of it. Okay, Jason hasn't. Okay, awesome. Good, I'm glad. Alvi, Cedric, 0. Okay, I told you. Okay, good. Garen Bear, Jonathan Davis, Alvi. Okay, great, awesome. Guys, I'm excited about this because I can tell you, this makes me happy. Watch my video that came out today, too. That gives you, in 8 minutes, it's very concise, but it's going to give you documents, everything. But I'm going to do it right here, too, okay? If you haven't watched my videos, guys, go ahead and watch them and like them, please. Thank you. And then comment as well. Awesome. Belly dancers. We need something like that, right? Some point, I'm going to get a full studio where during those little things, we're going to get up there and we're going to have like a little line dance going, okay? That'll be awesome. All right, let's keep on going. Okay, I see it. An unsecure signal says 0. Well, I'm about to reveal this to you. I'm excited about this, honestly, because this is big stuff. So, what happened is this. I know, Immaculate Constellation. I know. This is a kooky name to have for the Special Access Program. Unacknowledged Special Access Program, right? It sounds like some kind of Catholic school in Northern Virginia, all right? But stay with me. November 13th, 2024, journalist Michael Schellenberger submits a 12-page report, okay? He submit a 12-page report to Congress. It was written by a current or former U.S. intelligence official. The report states, and I'm going to read this exactly, okay? I'm going to pull this up on the screen right now as I do that. Real quick. Let me pull this up on the screen, and then I'm going to read it to you guys. We can read it together. All right. Let me find this. You guys know how I do it. I go here first. And then, here we go. Here's the report, guys. This is it. Here we go. You can see down here, Section 1, Unacknowledged Special Access Program. Unacknowledged Special Access Program, Immaculate Constellation. Here it is. Okay, the results of this investigation are deeply disturbing. Elements of the U.S. executive branch have conspired to prevent the U.S. legislative branch. Remember, elements of the executive branch. That means CIA, right? That means FBI. That means NSA. That means any other parts of the executive branch. They have conspired to prevent the U.S. legislative branch from exercising its lawful powers of governance with respect to the UAP, TUO, and NHI. NHI is non-human intelligence. Okay? Non-human intelligence issues. The information provided by the author strongly suggests that the U.S. executive branch has been managing UAP NHI issues without congressional knowledge, oversight, or authorization for some time, quite possibly decades. This criminal conspiracy, this is very important, this criminal conspiracy keeps the elected government of the United States and its citizens ignorant to profound discoveries and dire threats originating from the existence of UAP, NHI, and their technologies. Okay? Again, you see here, Section 1, Unacknowledged Special Access Program, Immaculate Constellation. Immaculate Constellation is an unacknowledged special access program established, which is also called a USAP, established following the public disclosure of ATIP, AATIP, AAWSAP programs by Luis Elizondo in 2017. Upon disclosure to Congress, it was determined that this USAP and its collateral information have not been lawfully reported to Congress. So they're still trying to hide it, okay? And why is this important? Again, here's why it's important. Because I know, I was in the military, and the military would be like, well, you know, executive branch is probably hiding it, meaning the Pentagon is a part of the executive branch. The military is part of the executive branch, okay? All the power is there. Well, they're probably hiding it because you guys don't need to know. All right, that's one reason. But the reason why they had to tell them is because here, it was determined that the USAP and its collateral information have not been lawfully reported to Congress. So under the law, it had to be reported because of this hearing. And now the president himself has said, release the files, okay? So now you see all the teeth are out. All the coercive measures are in place. There's an executive order out. Okay, I say an executive order, but the president has ordered it, okay? And here's the thing. The legislative branch are the direct representatives from the people. The president, senators, congressmen, congresswomen, congresspeople, okay? All the House of Representatives, all those people are all direct representatives of the people, okay? Constituents across the United States. And that means the people's elected leaders don't know what they do need to know. Now, not every member of Congress needs to know about it, but those in the oversight committees need to know about it, okay? This is why they're there, all right? So what is Immaculate Constellation? Immaculate Constellation is an unacknowledged special access program, okay? It's an unacknowledged special access program. Let me get back in here. Established following the public disclosure. Okay, I'm sorry. Immaculate Constellation's primary mission is collecting imagery intelligence on unidentified aerial phenomena, UAP, and ARV-RV reproduction vehicles utilizing tasked and untasked U.S. military intelligence sources. Okay? As a part of a network of SAPs linked to non-human intelligence, NHI, and UAP technologies, Immaculate Constellation acts as a nexus for collecting, analyzing, and disseminating intelligence on the activities, capabilities, and locations of anomalous aerospace threats that originate from foreign or unidentified sources, okay? So this is the one-stop shop. Immaculate Constellation is the one-stop shop for everything, okay? For everything that is NHI, UAP, it all goes there. All source intelligence goes there to this program, all right? So I'm glad you guys saw that. Now, recently put out was this letter this year, March 31st, 2026, by Congress, House of Representatives, sent this to Pete Hegseth, Honorable Pete Hegseth. The Committee on Oversight and Government Reform's Task Force on the Declassification of Federal Secrets is continuing its investigation into unidentified aerial phenomena. Okay? The bottom line is that the whistleblowers informed the task force that AARO possesses additional video recordings of potential UAP sightings. Now, why are these new videos coming out? Because of this letter we're looking at right now. This is what's forcing it. And then the president said, yeah, release it. Okay? The lack of disclosure regarding the very real threats posed by UAPs in and around U.S. restricted airspace is concerning. Okay? They pushed for it. The president said, do it. They did it. Now, if you look here, these were in my video on Sunday. Not today's video I released, but on Sunday's video. So go back and watch it. The 4 UAP formation, that's also in the introduction of today's video I released, okay? Go back and watch my last 2 videos. The Syrian UAP instant acceleration, that's in there as well too. UAP USO formation. All of these things came out, okay? All these came out from this letter because the president said release it. Okay? So they're pushing for more and more and more. And again, because the journalists have told them, look, it's already been leaked and we could do it, or you guys can do it. You guys can get the political credit too. Of course, the politicians want political credit. Of course. Okay? That's the game they're playing. But that's immaculate conception, immaculate constellation. Okay? Active Department of Defense unacknowledged special access program, a parent program, meaning it sits above other classified programs and consolidates UAP observations from multiple classified programs. Okay? High definition video, sensor data, photography, including footage of an F-22, one of our most advanced fighter jets, being forced out of its patrol area by an orb. Think about that. They haven't released that yet. Okay? But they have it. Why? Because someone inside the program leaked it. And they're like, yeah, this is wrong. We need to know about this. Something's going on. Okay? The Pentagon is denying it exists, but I think it's not denying it anymore. I think they've been like, yeah, we don't know. We don't know. They do know it's going to come out because multiple people under oath say it exists. All right? And here's what we know. We know for sure because it happened on camera. Lou Elizondo, being questioned by Nancy Mace, Representative Nancy Mace, said it. Okay? She asked, were programs designed to reverse engineer alien craft? Elizondo said yes. Okay? Let's watch that really quickly. I'm going to pull that video up. So I think it's important for you guys to see. Okay? Let's see here. If you haven't voted inside of our chat yet, you haven't voted inside our poll, vote in the poll. Joe Saunders. I have an alert. I have a Joe Saunders alert here. Let's see. Nope, false alarm. It was an old Joe Saunders alert. Am I still frozen, Ruby? No, I'm not. Okay, unsecure signal. I'm not frozen. Good audio, frozen video. Like yesterday. Like Monday. Let me see. Okay, I'm going to pull something up here. Well, we'll have to go like... Okay, let's see it. China again. China. All right, vote in the poll. If you haven't voted in the poll yet, just like last time, I'm going to throw this up really quickly. We're going to watch this video. Here we go. Lou Elizondo talking about this. Hold on one second, guys. Here we go. All right, ready? All right.
Compensation for their injuries. Is that correct?
That is correct.
How can the government deny we have recovered craft if they're paying people because they've been injured by recovered craft?
Ma'am, that's a great question. That's why I think we're here again, because I've seen the documentation by the U.S. government
right, can you guys
for
see this
several
video?
of these individuals who have sustained injuries as a result of a UAP incident.
It's a crazy idea, right? The hypocrisy and the logic.
Mr. Elizondo, did I have that correct?
Sir,
I'm a recovering lawyer, so I'm going to put my hat on for a second. You said you signed a document. Love that. Who gave that to you?
the U.S. government, sir.
Okay, you have a copy of it?
It is stored in the SCIF right now. I do not have possession of it. The U.S. government does.
What department of the U.S. government gave you this document?
I will say the Department of Defense. Unfortunately, I can't say in this forum much more than that.
You specifically said the document said you can't talk about crash retrieval. Well, you know, you can't talk about Fight Club if there's no Fight Club.
Correct.
Okay, I'm just making an observation.
All right, can you guys see me now? Am I back?
That document that you signed.
That's the UAP community getting me. 10-4, I'm good, I'm back. Okay, Ben is frozen. Video clip is good. Ben is frozen. Okay, well, as long as we can see this. So you're seeing more and more about the compartmentalization. Lou Elizondo getting it as well, too. All right. He's going to talk about when she asks him.
Elizondo for his opening statement.
Here we go.
Greetings, Chairwoman Mace, Chairman. I manage a special access program on behalf of the White House and the National Security Council. As such, I appreciate the need to protect certain sensitive intelligence and military information. I consider my oath to protect secrets as sacred, and I will always put the safety of the American people first. With that said, I also understand the consequences of excessive secrecy and stovepiping. Nowhere was this more apparent than in the aftermath of 9/11, which many of us remember all too well.
Now, remember, you guys, we talked about that on Monday about the stovepiping from 9/11, where people weren't talking to each other, and so they didn't let people, agencies didn't let each other know about the intelligence they had, and it created, obviously, the opportunity for vulnerability, and 9/11 happened, okay, because people did know about terrorist training with planes. They knew about there was a plot to bring down the Twin Towers, all these things like that, but they each compartmented inside their own agencies and didn't talk about it, okay? Didn't have a joint interagency back then.
I believe that America's greatness depends on three elements. A watchful Congress, B, a responsive executive branch, and C, an informed public. Over the last decade and a half, I learned that certain UAP programs were and are operating without any of these elements. Although much of my government work on the UAP subject still remains classified.
Okay.
And I have a lot of witnesses. So I would just ask if it's yes or no to please just tell me yes or no. If it requires more than
listen
that,
to this is good.
be very succinct because I would like to go down the line and ask as many questions as possible. So, all right. Okay, Mr. Elizondo, you state in your testimony that, quote, advanced technologies not by our government or any other government are monitoring sensitive military installations around the globe, end quote. If these technologies are not made by any government, who's making them? Private companies, or are you implying they are crafted by a non-human intelligence?
Well, ma'am, that's precisely why we're here. The problem is that temporally speaking, over decades, not just the last 10 years, to put this in perspective,
Are these private companies you're implying, or is this non-human intelligence?
All right, sounds like I'm still frozen, guys. Freedom Cherry, I'm with you. I'm not that worried either. I'm frozen, but the vid is playing is not frozen. I don't know what's going on. Mark, thanks for filling Cedric in. I don't know what's going on either, but last time this unfroze it, so we're gonna keep trying, okay? And maybe I'll close some of these windows I'm not using. Maybe that will help. Okay, here we go. Let me know if it unfreezes, okay? There we go.
It may be both.
Okay.
When it comes to Blue Force Technologies, I would not be able to discuss.
Okay.
That.
Are you read into secret UAP crash retrieval programs?
We would have to have a conversation in a closed session, ma'am. I signed documentation 3 years ago that restricts my ability to discuss specifically crash retrievals. I submitted for my book through the DOPSR process, which took a year for it to be reviewed. And what is in the book is what I was told I'm allowed to talk about.
Has the government conducted secret UAP crash retrieval programs? Yes or no? To have you today.
Okay, turn it off, turn it back on, you think? I don't know if that'll work, but I can give that a try. 1 second. This is important, this line of questioning, guys. So listen to this because you can't see me anyway. Listen.
Welcome, everyone. We are pleased to have you today.
Wait a second.
Pursuant to Committee Rule 9G,
Hold
the
on,
witnesses will please stand.
Here, I'm gonna
Propose
fix it.
3 principal eradicating polio or going to the moon. We don't run from a challenge. We take it head on. Unchecked power and corruption.
Who's making them? Private companies, or are you implying they are crafted by an
Speaking over decades, not.
implying, or is this non-human
All right, here,
intelligence?
listen to this,
It
guys.
may be both.
This is good.
Okay.
When it comes to Blue Force Technologies, I would not be able to discuss.
Okay.
That.
Are you read into secret UAP crash retrieval programs?
We would have to have a conversation in a closed session, ma'am. I signed documentation 3 years ago that restricts my ability to discuss specifically crash retrievals. I submitted for my book through the DOPSR process, which took a year for it to be reviewed. And
All right,
what is in
guys.
the book is
Let me
what
know
I
if
was
you can
told
see
I'm
me
allowed
again
to
now.
talk about.
Has the government conducted secret UAP crash retrieval programs? Yes or no?
Yes,
Okay. Were they designed to identify and reverse engineer alien craft? Yes or no?
yes.
Does the U.S. government have any reverse? Okay, we already answered that question about retrieval programs.
I think I'm back in action.
Do any U.S. contractors have the same?
I would prefer to address in a closed session.
I think I'm back in action.
Okay. In your book, you mentioned government employees who've been injured by UAPs.
All right, guys, you let me know. Am I back? Yes, Ben? I'm back? All right, guys, you let me know. Am I back? Is my video back? Let me know, okay? But check this out, what he's saying right here. Here are the questions. The questions she's asking are pretty good. Listen to this.
Were they designed to identify and reverse engineer alien craft? Yes or no?
Yes.
Does the U.S. government have any reverse? Okay, we already said retrieval.
One more time.
Is what I was told I'm allowed to talk about.
Here we go. Listen.
Has the government conducted secret
Still
UAP
frozen.
crash retrieval programs? Yes or no?
Yes,
Okay. Were they designed to identify and reverse engineer alien craft? Yes or no?
yes.
Does the U.S. government have any reverse? Okay, we already answered that question about.
So you hear what he's saying about that, right? Do they have any craft? Yes. Is there a program to recover crashed, crashed craft? Yes. To reverse engineer them? Yes. Okay, so there's a lot going on there. The video works. Weird. Nope. What's that? Okay. No, I say weird. Nope. 0, but your video works. Still frozen. Semi-alien craft. Yeah. Your camera needs tune up. I don't know if it's video's frozen. Still not working. It's showing on my end it's working. Let me see though. The truth teller. Let's see on here. Yep, I'm still frozen. At least I look like mean. I look like this. I'm gonna try to imitate myself. I'm imitating myself. You guys can't see me, so you can't enjoy it. All right, this is gonna be like a radio show for a minute here. All right, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Damn it, and give yourselves a round of applause. Best chat on YouTube. Everyone, big round of applause for yourselves. Clap it up. Get those emojis going. You don't need to see me. You need to see the stuff I'm gonna put up here. It'll unfreeze itself in a second. I need Starlink, but I also need, you know what I need? I need the aliens. I need the aliens to come by and give me their technology for my live stream, because it's been 2 times in a row now, or my computer is about to explode, one or the other. Okay, guys. So the big takeaway here is, again, Nancy Mace asking him about these programs and him answering yes or no.
What I was told I'm allowed to talk about.
Has the government conducted secret UAP crash retrieval programs? Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay. Secret crash retrieval programs. Yes.
Okay. Were they designed to identify and reverse engineer alien craft? Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay. That's huge. That's huge. Right? This is huge. And again, very credible witness, just like the others. You guys let me know if you can see me, if it's back in action. And if not, I'll have to troubleshoot again and see what's going on. But so let's move on. Think about what this means, though, that the technology may not even be in government hands anymore. It may be in private contractor hands. Because she asked, do contractors have the same? He said, I can't talk about that if they have the same technology. He said he'd prefer to answer that in a closed session, meaning they do, right? Even if he's going to say no, this acknowledges that it's going on, okay? It's just like the one guy said, you can't talk about Fight Club. You can't talk about Fight Club if there is no Fight Club, right? He's talking about Fight Club. So there is Fight Club. Don't talk about Fight Club. So it exists. Yes, I am very frozen. I realize that. Hold on, let me put something on here. This is Frozen. Welcome to all of you who are new here. And let me try to troubleshoot this one more time, guys. Okay, I am going to. Am I back? Am I back in action? Let's see. I wonder if I'm back in action, if you guys can see me, and then we'll carry on with the rest of the show. Back. I'm back. Woo! It's party time, baby. You know what time it is? Time to pump it up. Time to pump it up. Let's do this right now. It is time to get our pump up back on, baby. Let's go.
Level up, level
All right, fire
level
back up.
up.
Get the energy back up. All right, we need to get everybody fired back up again. Call your friends.
Go.
Call your family. Get them back in here. Share the stream. We want to throw shit up in here. We got a lot of stuff to talk about. I'm just kidding. YouTube, we're not going to blank it out. All right, good. I can see myself. You guys can see me. Like, subscribe, and share. If you aren't, put a 1 in the chat or a fire symbol in the chat if you're ready to rock and roll. Let's get this thing fired up. Let YouTube know that we're here, okay? When you guys hit those little buttons in the chat, you put emojis, put everything, it lets them know we're here, and it's going to send it out and let them know. Let's see what this next song is real quick. Got another song.
Feel the pressure start to climb. A brand new signal for the time.
All right, get fired
Let
up.
the rhythm
Jump
take
around, move around a
control.
little bit. Wake yourselves up. now we're
Ignite
gonna do
the
this shit
fire
right
in
now.
your soul.
I get that disco. Sometimes I come in here like disco suit on.
Pulse in motion.
All right, let's go. Get a lot of stuff to talk about stuff. Damn it. Thanks for hanging in there with me. Let's chat on YouTube. Give yourselves a round of applause. Woo! Round of applause for Let's Chat on YouTube. You guys are sticking through the fire. I appreciate you. Let's do this, man. Let's go. Now I figured it out. I just shut it off, shut it back on, and everything will be cured. Okay, we're letting YouTube know we're alive. We're letting them know we're here. Damn it. Illegal aliens. Taking you back to club days. I hear you. This is our little club. It's our little private club right here. Okay, we're ready. Ready to rock and roll. Are you ready? Are you ready? Let's go. Here we go. So, now, what I want to talk about. We talked about Immaculate Constellation. Okay? We talked about lots of different stuff. But let's talk about a little bit deeper here, because everything we just covered, that's the context. And now I want to talk about what it all means. It's not just a political story. It's not just a UFO story. But it's the most extreme leadership case study in modern history to me, okay? And hopefully you see it that too. Read the poll results right now, okay? Look them for yourself. See what you see there. Where do you see that we're at? Take a look. As I'm going to take a look right now. 22 votes, 26 minutes ago. What's the real reason they're keeping it secret? Take a look with me. Read these poll results with me. Protecting money, big money, trillions of dollars is what I'm supposed to say. But I couldn't fit it on this poll answer. Protecting big money energy industries, 45%. Next, are they hiding it because of national security? We can't know. 14% think that. Next, is it military technology advantage? 18% think yes. Or last, would the truth collapse public trust? 23%. Number one is protecting big money energy industries. Number two is the truth would collapse public trust, okay? That's where we're at in our poll. So this is a major, major leadership issue, okay? And this is how, I want to talk about how the USAPs actually work. I'm going to walk you through how an unacknowledged special access program actually functions. We talked about it a little bit earlier. We touched on it, but I'm going to deep dive it now really quickly. Because understanding the mechanism is the key to understanding how this stayed hidden for so long. And stick around, okay, because I'm going to reveal a new video, not even in any of this stuff, okay? Not in the UAP files from the Pentagon, not in the NSA files, okay? Something else, I'm going to reveal that as well too, and I am going to show you the NSA files here in a minute. A standard classified program has oversight, okay? Remember that. It appears on the budget line, even if the line is vague. Someone knows what it means. Usually a congressional oversight committee knows what it means. Congress can request briefings. Inspector General can investigate. A special access program adds another layer. You need explicit need-to-know authorization just to be briefed on it, okay? Your clearance level alone doesn't get you in the door. Just like Joe Saunders said, there's not a common one level is top secret for everything. There are special access programs. There are secret compartmented information, okay? And you don't need to know everything, right? Unless it pertains to your job, okay? So your clearance level alone doesn't get you in the door. An unacknowledged, a USAP, unacknowledged special access program goes further. The program's existence itself is classified, okay? You cannot acknowledge it exists. Now, I will tell you, I've been a part of some things, like I said, where if you weren't read into the program and someone asked you about something, you could not acknowledge its existence, okay? And I remember I've always found that funny. I'm like, but wait a second. Other people are talking about it, and the person who's actually in it, when you encounter them, I found out later they would just go, They couldn't say anything. Would they lie and say, they just would go silent and say nothing, okay? And sometimes they would say, yo, I don't know. All right, interesting, right? You cannot acknowledge it exists, even to people with the highest clearances, unless they already have specific access to that program. Now, some people get very arrogant about it too. It's nuts. But here is the mechanism that makes it almost impossible for oversight. If you don't know the program's code name, like Nancy Mace was saying earlier, you cannot request access. You cannot ask for a briefing. You can't even ask if it exists, okay? Because asking the question reveals that you know something that exists to ask about, okay? That's not a security architecture. It's really a trap, honestly, okay? Designed to keep itself hidden indefinitely. So people that reveal some of these things and saying this does exist, and it usually doesn't happen if everything is flying right within the program. But it's when all of a sudden criminal activity, embezzlement, fraud, misappropriation, secrets that need to be known publicly, or a high-level elected official asks about something like the president and they deny it. Now you're really lying to protect a secret. And also on top of that, if it is protecting high-level misappropriation of funding, which is making government contractors, civilians, other people rich. Okay, again, we go to the money. Or it's hiding a specific new technology that could really help a lot of people. Okay, so it's designed to keep itself hidden indefinitely. The money trail we need to talk about. And here's the question I think many of you in the chat, because we got the best chat in YouTube, smartest people around, okay? But a lot of people don't ask this question enough. Where does the funding come for a program that doesn't officially exist? Well, I'll tell you, Congressman Burchett explained it in a very detailed way. The money is being misappropriated, taken from other budget lines, okay? Buried in procurement, hidden in research and development, funneled through contractor relationships that have their own classification levels. We're talking about potentially trillions of dollars over 75 years. Trillions. I want you to think about that. Of taxpayer money with zero oversight, zero accountability, zero audit trail that anyone with a clearance can access. And here's the part that should make every entrepreneur and executive in this group, or any rising leader, okay, anyone who's trying to kick ass and take names out there, set up straight. Once that money flows to private contractors under these programs, it essentially leaves the government accountability structure entirely. It's like if you had a fraud program under a charity, okay, with a discretionary fund. You wouldn't, once the money came into the charity, right? That's what people do with fraud. Okay, the whole fraud thing that broke out in Minnesota and in California, all that stuff like that. Once the money comes in, it doesn't have to be accounted for. It's a discretionary budget all of a sudden, right? So once the money flows to private contractors under these programs, it essentially leaves the government accountability structure that exists. Private corporations have their own classification systems, their own NDAs, their own security structures. The technology, and plus they are super politically connected. Make no mistake, very powerful. They influence elections. They sway elections, okay? So that's why they don't get, the FBI storming the doors in to raid these private corporations, okay? Because they control the purse strings, frankly, okay? The technology, if it exists, may be owned by nobody or by everybody or a handful of defense contractors who have been sitting on the most revolutionary technology in human history for decades, okay? So this is really important. And I'm going to show you guys something as we go here, because I'm going to talk to another thesis in a minute here about the energy suppression. Suppressing the most powerful piece of technology that's possibly there, and it might not be what you think, okay? It might be something else entirely, all right? And I'm going to play this because I think this is very important. Then I'm going to show you guys, actually, before I do this part, I'm going to show you the NSA files a little bit. Let's take a look at these. All right. Let me know, give me a 1 in the chat if you have seen, guys, this is probably going to be a Benathon tonight a little bit. I've got a lot more to go. So buckle up. Here we go. So let me know, give me a 1 in the chat if you knew that the NSA had just dropped a whole batch of top secret files. Okay, they declassified them and released them. Give me a 1 in the chat if you knew that. Give me a 0 if you did not. I will tell you I did not know that until last night when I was making my new video. Okay, yeah, 0. Me too, Cedric. It was a 0 for me. The Money Lebowski. That's right, the Diamond Dog. All right. I didn't know either. Okay? Check this out. NSA releases hundreds of pages of formerly top secret Umbra UAP records after Disclosure Foundation FOIA appeal. FOIA is the Freedom of Information Act appeal. The National Security Agency has produced hundreds of pages of historical UAP-related documents following a Freedom of Information Act appeal by the Disclosure Foundation. This is May 18th, 2026. This article just came out, okay? This came out last week. Many of the records were previously classified top secret Umbra, one of the most sensitive classification markings associated with signals intelligence, okay? If you think the Pentagon's secretive, the NSA is like the puzzle palace. That's what they call it. It is probably even more secret in many ways than the CIA, okay? Because of the sensitivity of the technical collection apparatus and technology they have, okay? Look at this. Check this out. this goes back. There's a story behind this. Okay, I couldn't put all this in my 8-minute video, but watch the video. In here, I'm going to reveal to you what this is. This was a request for information from the NSA that goes all the way back to, I believe, 1982. Okay, they don't have it on here. Yeah, I believe this was in 1982. All right. So this was top secret Umbra. And what this was someone came out and requested FOIA from the NSA. The NSA denied this FOIA request, and they went to court, United States District Court for the District of Columbia. Okay? The plaintiff, Citizens Against Unidentified Flying Objects Secrecy. Okay? So UAP concern back in 1982, I think it was, versus the National Security Agency, which is the defendant. They were fighting to get the material released from top secret Umbra. Okay? NSA said no. NSA won. They couldn't get it because they were saying they knew all these things. The NSA knew all these things about UAPs and UFOs, and NSA said, yeah, okay, that's great, but here's the reason why we don't release FOIA. So you can have FOIA, but they just still won't release it. They'll take you to court. And what if they kick the can down the road and say, yeah, we're not sure if we can do this, and the judge is like, yeah, I'm gonna grant a stay of the I'm gonna grant a stay of this, and we're gonna move this to next year. The citizens against the denial of information of UAPs might run out of money. You ever think about that one? How many times, put a 1 in the chat, give me a 1 in the chat if you heard friends of yours say, yeah, well, if they do that, I'm going to sue them. If they do that, I'll sue. Okay, I'm just going to sue them. I'll sue the shit out of them, and I'll make money. Do you know how much money it takes to sue someone sometimes? Or it takes a very competent lawyer who thinks you have a real case. Okay? This is why sometimes the rich people can hide. Rich, powerful people can just hide stuff they've done because they can just take you to court and give you hell, okay? And then they can drain you of all your money, right? I've seen some podcasts. You guys probably know ones I'm talking about. I won't bring them up, but podcasts within my orbit of veterans that got destroyed because a bigger fish came along with a legal team and took them to court. They ran out of money. And at the end of the day, they couldn't pay the legal fees, and so they said, "We'll settle if you just shut your thing down and you shut down your podcast, take down all your episodes, and issue an apology." And so they do. Okay, it's real stuff, man. Real stuff. Yeah, they got outpriced in court. That's it, Joe. Exactly. Okay. Donald Trump was notorious for this as a businessman. If anyone talked trash about him in the press or anything, or said bad things, or published an article about him, he would take them to court, even if it cost him a few $1 million, as a cost-imposing strategy. That you talk about me, you might win, but it's going to cost you $5 million to defend yourself because I'm going to keep up bringing suits against you. Okay, real stuff. This is like sanctions. It's like a personal sanction on you. Okay. Now check this out. Inside the NSA's UFO UAP intelligence vault, in a sealed courtroom in 1980, Eugene F. Yeats, then chief of policy at the NSA, filed a classified affidavit. Filed a classified affidavit defending why the agency refused to release 156 documents related to the unidentified flying objects. Okay, that was this right here. That was this. There he is, Eugene F. Yeats, chief office of policy of the National Security Agency. Okay, saying why we shouldn't have to release these 156 documents, okay? Real stuff. They've been fighting it. What was in there? Here it is. Check this out, guys, okay? This was the moment you've been waiting for. My latest thumbnail has this unidentified object, aerial phenomena right here. Ocean object image, the original Soho image, March 14th, 2019. This is the one from my other thumbnail people say is a flare. The accurate representation is based on the photos provided, okay, and taken together the Cold War era NSA signal intelligence reports, the officially released Department of War UAP footage, the processed Soho imagery, all together, and modern comparison graphs have pushed renewed attention towards recurring star-like UFO and UAP descriptions appearing across different areas, different eras, meaning different times, different, whole decades of difference, different sensor systems, and witness accounts. This is what they're saying they've seen, Okay? This is it. This is what it actually looks like. So if you're not looking at your screen right now, hopefully I'm not frozen. Look at the screen right now. Okay? This was released in the NSA files. Okay? You guys all know it was released in the files. This is in a batch of top secret Umbra documents. This right here. With photos, signal intelligence, the object looked like a large star. The witness said it was impossible to be an aircraft. Okay, moved at high speed and altitude, repeatedly turned around while emitting a white luminous light with a slight bluish tint. Think about this is freaking nuts. I'm not going to lie to you. This is nuts. Nutty. Nutty stuff. And again, I'm going to guess who had these first. Probably some journalists it was leaked to, and they forced them to come out with this. Said, look, you do your job, or I'm going to do it for you. Okay? This is what they've been recreated to say most likely they looked like. All right? I don't know about you, but this is a little concerning, okay? I'm not going to lie. It's a little freaking concerning right here. It's like a throwing star. They could just hurl this at you and kill you with it, damn it. I got to get me one of these. Marines need to have these issued. They can fly them around the battlefield. Win every battle with this. Okay. Driving on. Now that hopefully I've scared you a little bit. All right. I've gone through that one. And here's some more NSA stuff. So this is what one of them looked like, right? This is on the thumbnail for today's live stream. This is another photo of it. Sphere, star-shaped. Okay? Cold. All the black areas mean it's cold. The internal areas mean it's hot. Look at the structure. This is not a flare. Okay? I've heard people say that. I've fired off a lot of flares in my day when I was a young Marine. Okay? I know you other Marines out there, Army, police officers, law enforcement, you've all fired flares. Flares don't look like this in NVGs. I'm sorry, they don't. They don't look like it in thermals either. They don't. It looks like a little white dot, hot. It doesn't look like it has a structure around it. Okay, like a star. Just dropped. NSA files show the military had some wild run-ins with UFOs, including a moment when 13 jets chased a mysterious object way in the sky. These top-secret Umbra reports, released thanks to a Freedom of Information Act appeal, describe UFOs as spheres, star-shaped, and even balls of fire. It's not just sci-fi. This stuff was locked away for decades. Boom. There it is. Guys, again, did you know about this? Did any of you ever hear about this? I've never heard about this until doing all this stuff, okay? Until doing this research for these videos. Yep and nope, exactly. So, yep. Give me the one in the chat if you've never heard of this before today, okay? Give me a 0 and then tell me when you knew about it. Because I've never seen this before with NSA. I never even thought about it, okay? Yep, nope, nothing. Me neither, Garen Bear. So imagine that, and I told you one of my friends who I might have come on the show here, depending on if they can, just sent me a bunch of links and things I need to look at, and I started looking through. There are hundreds of files that are their own release because President Trump didn't just say Pentagon. He said, everybody, release what you got. So they're doing it, okay? Now, they're probably not releasing the most sensitive, the best stuff. That's what Jeremy Corbell says, what Don Knapp says. But they're releasing things, okay? It's out there. So, yeah, that's a little concerning, right? Exactly, Freedom Cherry, exactly. Yeah. You fire them, they don't go that high. These are objects seen by aircraft like 10,000 feet in the air. A flare goes up like 100 feet, 200 feet, and it goes, comes down. You know, when people say that to me in my videos, okay, my one video from 2 weeks ago has like 52,000 views. Okay, for me, that's a lot. With 52,000 views, I've had a few hundred comments, maybe 1,000 comments. I don't know. But people are, some people are like, wow, it's real, it's real. Some people are like, no, it's a flare. Clearly, it's a flare. Clearly, to me, this person has never fired a flare in their life. Okay? Because a flare don't look like that. And you're not going to find a flare on a friggin', F-15 fighter jet or F-22 fighter jet thermal imager. You're not even going to notice it. It's going to be so far below you, you won't even see it. Okay, but I didn't want to go into all that. I was like, I don't have time to fight this. It's fine, whatever. All right, but I'm telling you guys because you're in the family here on the live stream, Best Chat in YouTube, and we got to talk about it. Speaking of that, let's celebrate the Best Chat in YouTube real quick. Fire it up. Let's fired up time, baby. Get it moving. Get it moving. Punch yourself in the face. Punch yourself in the face. Wake up. Let's go. Sometimes you got to smack yourself in the face and wake up a little bit. Let's go. You guys are doing great. You guys are always bringing the fire. Keep it going. Keep it going. Send a little flurry. Let YouTube know we're alive here. Okay, here's another one. NSA releases hundreds of historical UAP records after a FOIA appeal revealing top secret Umbra materials and ongoing redactions. Guys, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Helps out the channel a lot. Doesn't cost you anything. Just click that little subscribe button. Subscribe. And if you're new here, welcome. Welcome to the best chat in YouTube. We really have an amazing crew here, and I know you'll have a lot of fun. So subscribe, hit the bell so you get notifications so you can always join us. Usually we're live Mondays and Fridays. Our new schedule is Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays if I can sustain it. But keep that bell so you know when I'm going to go live. Okay, here's another article. NSA releases hundreds of historical UAP records after FOIA appeal revealing top secret materials, ongoing redactions. Okay, just another little article on it. Okay, and so I told you guys I would be showing you a video that's not before released. Okay, I've never seen this before. I've never heard of it. Honestly, it's pretty nuts. Okay, I'm going to get to it in a minute. I just saw it the other day. I'm doing like a lot of my own research, and pretty credible sources, very credible collection system, not classified. It's been sitting out there in a NASA vault, unclassified, I think for official use only. Imagine that. It's probably going to be classified now. I better show it to you guys before they snap it up. Okay? So let's talk about this. Before we go into that, I want to present a hypothesis, not a conspiracy theory, but a strategic hypothesis based on available evidence and based on economic logic. All of you guys have already said in the poll, not all of you, but the majority say follow the money, right? Okay. Why would you keep this a secret? After 75 years, why is it still classified? The standard answer is national security, okay? And that's legitimate for some of it, for sure. But you don't want adversaries to know what you know, blah, 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 right? Don't reveal collection methods, sources, and methods. But national security doesn't explain why you'd hide it from the president. Not really, right? From the oversight committees that fund you. No, not really. From the inspector general. No, from your own chain of command. Doesn't make sense. So what's the other explanation? Well, you named it inside the poll, okay? If these craft use a propulsion system that we've partially reverse engineered, hear me out, and that propulsion system draws on an energy source that is not petroleum, isn't nuclear, isn't anything currently in our commercial energy infrastructure, okay, then disclosure of that technology makes the entire global energy infrastructure obsolete overnight, okay? Petroleum, natural gas, coal, nuclear, the entire infrastructure built around those industries, trillions of dollars in assets, hundreds of millions of dollars in jobs. The geopolitical power structure, the economic order, structures of nations, gone, okay? Now ask yourself, who has the most to lose from that disclosure? And who has the most influence over the defense contractor relationships where this technology allegedly sits? Who? I'm not saying that's definitely what's happening, okay? I'm saying, as a strategic analyst, that's the hypothesis that best explains the behavior that we're witnessing, okay? Organizations protect what they value. Follow what's being protected, and you'll follow and find out what's valued, okay? So let me ask you guys this. If free energy technology exists, all right, and it was suppressed, what would you do with it? What would you do with it? How would it change your life? Think about this. Free energy technology. If it existed, what would you do with it? How could it change your life? Drop that in the chat. I want to see what you guys think. Let's have a little discussion, okay? And I'm going to play a clip for you from Dylan Borland where he talks exactly about this. All right? But I want to see what you guys think about that. Let's get into Dylan Borland here. Here we go.
It would be me releasing all of that. And I'm not.
First of all, this is on the Weaponized podcast with Jeremy Corbell himself and Don Knapp. He is the head investigative journalist that blew up all these whistleblowers and revealed all of them. Okay, so thanks to Jeremy Corbell for his channel. Here we go. This is Dylan Borland, the Air Force whistleblower that we saw earlier.
Doing that. I am doing that because this needs to be told. The people that are in these programs and the decision makers at Congress and the executive branch owe it to the American people, to the whistleblowers, to the veterans, to the service members, to tell the truth in the capacity they can, because this is coming out no matter what. And when it does, if they are not a part of it, this is going to be a lot worse than it already is.
All right, you hear that? Because it's coming out no matter what. And if you're not a part of that, Congress, political leadership, you can make this a win for you, or you can look like part of the bad team, right?
So you have direct knowledge
That's
of
Jeremy Corbell.
UAP being actual craft of unknown or non-human origin. From your official capacity of work, you have some direct knowledge of that?
100%. Not only do I have it, I testified to it. I provided materials proving it, and it was proven to me that what I provided was in fact true.
Who did you?
Okay, so we saw that. We saw him. Actually, we saw him. He went through the proper channels as well too, and then we saw him actually go and do his House testimony as well.
You testify to list them out.
Senate staff, House staff, Arrow, and the ICIG.
Under oath.
Under oath.
Intelligence Community Inspector General, ICIG, the Senate staff, House staff. He went through all the proper channels as well. Okay, hard, not easy, scary. Okay, just so we're all clear here, this is not a cakewalk. And we can talk about book deals and all that stuff, but he doesn't have one, right? Maybe later, maybe 2 years from now. But I mean, you know these Hollywood types too. I mean, honestly, they're trying to make money. They're not going to like give away the farm and be like, yeah, let's give you millions. Okay, they're trying to make money. So maybe he'll go on the speaking circuit. Maybe he'll have a book deal later. But it ain't as easy to make all money from this stuff as you think, you know. So that's one thing. One thing I've heard from a lot of people. All right, let's keep going. He's going to reveal something important about the energy source here in a minute.
Both FBI was there, the ICIG was there, the DOD was there at points in time, staff members from armed services, intelligence. Basically, I went through the whole kit and caboodle to tell the truth and get this on record because I have grave concerns for what is happening to people.
Is there something else in between that thing that you saw that went, other experiences, things that you saw?
There are many, I think, as of this time.
I'm going to fast
and
forward a little
knowledge
bit.
in the
Redacted.
it's
See,
not the crap.
You guys see this? They redacted
The
this as
reverse
well.
engineering, integration of technology into,
Redacted.
as well as the most important piece of technology on the planet, and it's not the
All right, here it is. Okay. He's talking about the reverse engineering the craft, and they said redacted, as well as the most important piece of technology on the planet, and it's not the craft itself. Okay, so pay attention.
as well as the most important piece of technology on the planet, and it's not the craft themselves.
It would be the power source.
You can make that
I
assessment
just
yourself.
So you saw these things in between when you became a whistleblower and went through that process?
Okay, so the power source. The power source is what we were just talking about, okay? Bob Lazar, if you go into his documentary and you see his documentary, it's called S4 from Bob Lazar. He shows the power source. He stole one. He got a piece out from the lab of this thing. I think Scott Wheeler, I think you said it before, Scott, when you said it's LU or something like that, or maybe it was SRP Valkyrie. But Scott, I think you said it. Okay. So, all right. See you, Ruby. Good night. And then but LU, I think that's the new element. It's the 115th element on the periodic table now. They discovered it. Okay. So this is part of the power source, not the entire system, but part of the power source. Okay. And what he's talking about. So the most important piece is this power source, right? So again, if these are using this type of, technology, it's going to be a game changer all the way. All right. So let's talk about this. Okay. I've been an analyst for the past 2.5 hours now. Now I want to be a coach for everybody. Okay. Because everything we've talked about tonight, the compartmentalization, the institutional self-protection, the culture of silence, the money, the money flowing to protect the empire. None of it is unique to the U.S. government. You know that, right? Every single one of you has experienced a version of this in a company, on a team, in a relationship. Maybe you've even created a version of it inside yourself, right? Without realizing it. So let me give you my IEE framework, my identity, energy, and environment applied to what we've learned tonight. First of all, I talked about the identity with David Grush, right? What his reason for doing what he's doing is, his identity. The people who built these programs had an identity built around being the keepers of the most important secret in human history. Think about it. So it all makes sense. Do whatever it takes. This is your mission. This is your purpose. This is your identity. You are the secret keepers of the most important secret in human history. That identity became more important than their mission. When your identity is tied to the secret, you will protect the secret at all costs. Just like David Grush, I think his identity is protected to serving and fulfilling his oath and being a damn good officer, okay? So he was, I need to disclose at all costs, all right? Even at the cost of your integrity, these secret keepers will keep their secret. Your oath, your mission, at the cost of all those things. As a leader, you have to ask yourself, what secrets are you keeping that have become more important than your mission? What information are you hoarding that your team needs to perform? Energy. These programs have been running for 75 years on the energy of fear. Fear of disclosure, fear of losing control, fear of what happens if the truth comes out. That's not sustainable energy. That's corrosive energy. It corrodes culture. It corrodes trust. It corrodes the mission. What fear-based energy is driving decisions for you right now, okay? Or fear-based energy is driving decisions in your organization right now, in your team, okay? An environment. The most powerful insight from tonight is this: the environment, the team, the organization, right? The culture. It was engineered to prevent questions. New people get socialized into not asking. Culture formed around the silence, right? The environment becomes self-reinforcing. What questions are people afraid to ask in your environment? What questions are you afraid to ask, okay? What does this cost you? What does the silence cost you? As I said at the end of my video, when you watch the video I released today, I said this. I said, stop lying to yourself. Other people are better at it, okay? Because within yourself, you can have this, this resistance to asking yourself real questions, to really feeling certain things, to really thinking certain things, okay? It matters, all right? And guys, this is what I teach inside my Ferocious Optimist coaching membership, and especially also inside my Inner Circle membership, my mastermind that meets weekly, okay? My Ferocious Optimist group coaching monthly membership. The link is inside the chat. It's pinned to the chat. Check it out. Click on it. Doesn't cost you anything to look. Learn more about it. There's some videos in there. There's also a free gift in there as well, too, that you just, put in your information, your email, and it'll give you a free gift, okay? I want to talk about my leadership framework as well, too, for a minute. The RP2EL application of all this. Again, this is my organizational framework that I teach for leadership development, organizational development, growing organizations, okay, all those things. The first RP, the right people. The whistleblowers are the right people with the right mindset. Grush, Borland, Elizondo, they all had the moral courage to break the culture of silence at enormous personal cost. Are you surrounding yourself with people who will tell you the truth, even when it's costly, okay? Even if it's unpopular? Do they actually have your best interest in mind? So important, okay? The right process is the second RP. The oversight process failed because the programs were designed to circumvent it, okay? Your planning and execution processes, okay, need to be designed so they can't be circumvented by people who benefit from secrecy. Really important, all right? Ethical decisions under stress. This is the E in RP2EL. Every person who stayed silent made an ethical decision under stress, the stress of career consequences. Most chose career over conscience. I'm going to say that again. Most chose career over conscience. They chose also, self-protection, okay? As a leader, what decisions are you making under stress that you'll regret, okay? As a leader, as a, whatever you want to say, leader of your own life, okay? As a leader of your team, as a person, are you making choices out of fear and stress that later you'll regret? And it could be this, not that you're doing something crazy, but it could be the opportunity cost where you're not taking a chance on yourself. You're not betting on yourself. You're not starting that thing. You're not investigating that thing. You're not researching. You're not breaking away from that bad situation. You're not getting into this new situation because you're afraid and you're stressed. Instead of having a clear-eyed vision of what's going on, getting very clear analyzing it, and then creating a strategy and a plan and attacking it, okay? You're just letting fear and stress dissuade you and push you away, steer you away from what needs to be done, okay? Learning from mistakes is the L in RP2EL. This is my leadership development framework, okay? 75 years is a long time to not learn from a mistake, right? The lesson here is institutional. When you build systems that can't be questioned, you build systems that cannot learn, all right? So important. Which of those 4 hits home with you right now? Drop it in the chat. Of the things I just said for that leadership development framework, what hits you the most right now? Put it in the chat. I want to hear, okay? All right, guys. I've been going for a while here, but I got one more thing to show you. I promised I'd show this to you. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to show this. Readjust the headset here. We are in full Benathon mode right now, but this is the reward for you guys sticking around. I just discovered this today, and I'm going to tell you what, it is pretty wild, man. All right. This is Ross Coulthart. He is like the UAP guru of News Nation. He's been covering this stuff for years, decades, I think, and he knows where all the bodies are buried and all this stuff. So I'm going to show you guys something here that I was like, honestly, so surprised at. Okay, check this out. Here we go. Here we go.
When you look more closely at the details of this particular video, I think one quickly sees that the available data in the video do not fit that explanation well at all.
Run us through it again. I want to see the flash slide as well.
So this is another version of the video by Donald Ratch, the person who originally found the raw footage or copied it from NASA Select TV in 1991. So now he's highlighting where exactly the UAP.
So he copied this from NASA Select TV in 1991. Totally unclassified, but not well known. It's like hidden in plain sight. They're like, yeah, just throw it up there. No one analyzed it. No one was looking for it, but the astronaut clearly saw it and was slewing the camera, pointing the camera at it, okay? But I will tell you, throughout this is like a 1 hour episode, they said, why don't astronauts talk about these things? In fact, some of them go on the record and say, yeah, there's no such thing. None of that's out there. It's just ice particles. Because back then, and I think still today, I know 1 or 2 astronauts, I think, from that graduated from the Naval Academy that I know through 2 or 3 degrees of separation. Maybe I can try to get them on the show. But, they will say that if you talked about UFOs, aliens, UAPs, that was a sure bet way to never go in space again, never be a part of the program again. Okay, they wanted nothing to do with that. NASA has denied this for so long, and then all of a sudden, the Pentagon releases the files, and there's, lo and behold, like 10 Apollo 17, Apollo 12, Apollo 7, all these NASA files. They're NASA files. Somehow the mighty Department of War, Department of Defense, had a hold of it. Okay, crazy stuff, but they do. DOD's got big money and a lot of compartments to it. Okay, let's listen. Watch this.
He's going to pop up, pops up there, seemingly out of nowhere, moves along the horizon, and then we'll see the...
Guys, what I didn't say to you, but I'm going to say now, this is a space shuttle mission. This is a NASA space shuttle mission, not that long ago, okay? Like, one of the last space shuttle missions. The space shuttle had a lot of cameras on its hull, on its underbelly. These cameras would be active, taking, all kinds of video footage all around it as it went. They're collecting information. They're out in space. What do they see? This is what they saw. Check this out, okay? And he talks about how fast and how powerful this thing has to be to do what it does. Just watch this. Here we go.
Highlighting where exactly the UAP is going to pop up.
Look at
pops up there, seemingly out of nowhere, moves along the horizon, and then we'll see the flash of light from the bottom left.
Watch this.
And then this thing will respond by darting off at a 45-degree angle, seemingly out into space, seemingly.
And just what strikes me as interesting, I'm glad you got it there. There appears to be a beam of light that comes flying up from the planet immediately after that broad flash.
Watch it again.
Could you show that again?
So yes, there's a beam of light, and then there are 2 projectiles that are shot off, which he points to here.
Guys, put a 1 in the chat if you've never seen this before. Put a 1 in the chat if you've never seen this before, because stuff is freaking happening, right? Stuff is happening out there. Bobby, what's going on, man? Hey, good to have you, Bobby. So guys, put a 1 in the chat if you've never seen this before. This was just came out from someone's personal archive who recorded from NASA TV in 1991 from a space shuttle mission. Okay, so people are starting to come forward with stuff. And the person who released this is a physicist, okay, who says he believes it's a UAP. So what he describes, without me taking all night on this thing, I'll let him do it one more time here, and then I'll tell you what the findings are.
Let me go a little bit further back so that it's easier to
There it is. You see it? He
see.
zoomed in. Right here. See it? I'm circling
Okay.
it.
Bottom left, there will be a flash of light.
Flash of lights
and
down
then
here.
2 projectiles will
Bang.
Boom. Now watch the projectile
One
fly
is
up.
there, as
Fly
you
up.
can see.
Wow.
The other one is over there,
Right
less
there.
visible, but it's there.
Okay.
And the main UAP, as we can see, that's moving along at a constant speed. It actually stops for half a second, as determined by Dr. Jack Kasher.
Now this
before
guy
it darts
speaking,
off.
guys, this guy speaking right now is a physicist as well. He's a scientist. Okay, this isn't some kook. And so it's just ridiculous. What they're saying is it's ridiculous for us to be denying these things anymore. They're here. They've been doing things. We don't know what they are. And he said, could it be the United States has some advanced craft? It could be. But he goes on to debunk this, okay? Without me staying here all night, he says it could be. But guess how fast it would have to move? All right. First of all, I want to ask you guys in the chat. Tell me in the chat, how far away do you think this UAP or this unidentified aerial phenomena, we're not saying a UFO, we're not saying it's an alien spacecraft. We don't know what the hell it is. How far away from the space shuttle do you think this thing is? Tell me how far, because that's going to matter.
That doesn't fit the behavior of an ice particle, as Kasher showed extensively in his analysis of this footage. The main
Our ice particles don't go one way then the other way and that fast.
NASA explanation, I should say, is that these are ice debris particles that are pushed away by the space shuttle's attitude adjuster rocket, or attitude thruster, which is one of the thrusters that the space shuttle actually has.
Do you find any of that explanation plausible? I've spent a lot of time reading.
So NASA tried to say, oh, these are just ice particles. Okay. So long story short, I'm going to fast forward a little bit because really good. But how he debunks this, okay? Hold on one second. Oh, you see this trajectory? This is the trajectory of the space shuttle. This is Australia. This is Indonesia. Okay, if you look at the map on the screen, this is the trajectory of the space shuttle. At that time, there was also a UAP sighting. Okay, not for the space shuttle, but there are other multiple UAP sightings. Space shuttle's in space. You can't see it. You're not going to see it. Okay, so there's corroborating evidence of something going on. The next thing is this. Watch this. He talks about, okay, he puts up a chart. So how far you think away this thing was mattered, okay? 50 miles, okay, let's say 50 miles. 50 miles, you know how fast it has to be going? It needs to be going about 15,000 miles an hour if it's 50 miles away. If it's 100 miles away, it has to be going 25,000 miles an hour. If it's 1,000 miles away from it, because you think about that, this was on the horizon. Look at this. Okay, I'm going to put this back up. 35, 30. If it was on the horizon, okay, on the horizon right here of the Earth, this is the Earth's horizon. It's almost on the horizon. There it is, right there.
From the bottom left, and then this thing we'll see where
right here
by Donald Ratch, the person who originally found the raw footage.
Okay, Donald Ratch is another physicist.
Copied it from NASA Select TV in 1990.
But if you
there,
look,
seemingly out of nowhere.
So right there, okay, this is the Earth's horizon. This is thousands of miles from the space shuttle. This is much closer to that than it is the space shuttle, okay? And so if it's 1,000 miles away, watch this. This is nuts. 1,000 miles away, the final velocity of the object, they calculated, has to be 250,000 miles an hour. That's how fast it moves when it bounces away and goes back into orbit, okay? And the other object that was flying so fast like that needs to be traveling the same. 250,000 or 430,000 miles an hour. He goes on to say here, without us staying here all night, that there's nothing that we know of as physicists or scientists that human beings could even conceive of in the near future, or honestly, for thousands of years, with what we know right now, to create a propulsion system that can do that. Okay? He said it's vastly, vastly outside of anything even remotely close to what we could hope to be doing anywhere in the near future. Okay? And I mean, you know, he goes on and on that it's nuts. It's some type of different technology. And he goes on, all these different scientists have come out and said, yeah, it's definitely not ice particles. It's definitely not. NASA said ice particles, that's all it is. But you have to remember, this was also 40 years ago, okay? And so they don't have the same type of technology today to analyze things, to assess it, to look at the time, distance, space relationships, all those things. And today, what they're saying is that this is, it's just crazy, right? So again, this is new, just came out. This scientist just revealed his own, personal stash that he took from NASA TV, but they're doing a lot of analysis on it now. There's another one that I'm going to play. I'll play it probably on Friday at our live stream. Okay, guys? So I told you I'd bring that for you. I'm glad. If you liked that, if you thought that, give me a little alien symbol or a fire symbol or something if you thought that video was pretty crazy right there. Okay, if that was like something pretty damn surprising, I'll play it one more time here for everyone. If you thought that was pretty damn surprising, give me like an alien symbol or a fire symbol or something in the chat, okay? I'll play it one more time for anybody who missed it. All right, here we go. Here we go.
So this is another version of the video by Donald Ratch, the person who originally found the raw footage or copied it from NASA Select TV in 1991. So now he's highlighting where exactly the UAP is going to pop up. It pops up there, seemingly out of nowhere.
Here it is, guys. Here it is.
The horizon. And then we'll see the flash of light.
Watch it take off.
Left, and then this thing will respond by darting off at a 45-degree angle. Seemingly.
They're saying that speed right there that you see, and then you saw this streak right here shooting up, and you saw this thing take off. They're saying this speed is upwards of, one of you said it in the chat, 50 miles away from the space shuttle, it has to be flying at 15,000 miles an hour, okay? And if it's 100 miles, it's 25,000 miles an hour velocity. If it's 1,000 miles away, it's 430,000 miles an hour. Nothing can do that, okay, that fast or at all. And then this one right here, he later goes on to speculate something I think is incredible. He says it's possible that in this area where you see this, I'm going to rewind it 1 second. Watch this, what it looks like a laser or a missile being fired at it.
By darting off at a 45-degree angle.
Boom, watch this thing fly. Boom.
Out into space.
Okay.
Seemingly.
And
later on, they speculate saying that the United States has a base in this area in Australia, okay? Right here. Let me get to this. In this area in Australia, I showed you guys a map. So they say the United States has a base right here out near Western Australia, okay? And they're saying it's possible the United States fired something at these UAPs, which means the U.S. has been firing at them, okay? It's possible. It was a secret facility. Australians weren't allowed on it. I don't know. I'm just saying what they talked about without us watching the whole hour-long video. Crazy stuff is happening out there. Crazy things are coming out we never know about. Joe Saunders. Awesome, man. Thank you so much, brother. Let me get in here. Joe Saunders. Full regalia right now for Joe Saunders. Everybody, big round of applause for Joe Saunders, a friend of the channel. Thank you, Joe Saunders. You're the man. Appreciate you. We're firing up. Let's get over to this question. Let's go to this question for Joe Saunders here. Okay. I'm glad you like it. It's good. I like your questions. The questions are awesome, man. All right, let's check it out. Okay, I lied, LOL. That footage was completely random. They just happened to camera focus there. Color me skeptical. I love this stuff, but yeah, no, here's the thing. Joe, here's the thing. They have another thing that I'm not showing you right now, but I'm going to show it next time because I got to save some of this for you guys, okay? There's another footage that the astronaut actually is zooming and searching for something, finds it, locks onto it, but they never talk about it. There's no report of it from the official reports, no classified reports that they know about, okay, that talk about it. It looks like a plasma snake shoots up from Puerto Rico or shoots up from out of the water and goes into space. Crazy stuff, man. Okay, and this is all unclassified in a NASA vault, okay? And it's just people not looking at it because it's long footage, lots of footage. You have to be, really doing your due diligence to find this stuff because they just don't talk about it. They leave it hiding in plain sight. And I want to say this. He remarks on that, how the official log of the spacecraft was like, yeah, uneventful flight. No one noticed anything. And this guy says, yeah, but that astronaut who was on the camera noticed something, that's for sure, okay? And so usually they'll say something too. They tell someone something. They'll say, hey, thank you so much there, Garen Bear. Thank you. Appreciate it, Garen Bear. Big round of applause for Garen Bear. Round of applause. Appreciate you. I'm firing it up again. All right, and so it's possible that they knew something, right? But again, I think this is not, you have to remember, Joe, they have multiple cameras on all sides of the craft. So this is it's like a Tesla vehicle, right? They have cameras all over the place on the space shuttle. This was I think the port side camera, underbelly camera. Then they have the starboard side underbelly camera that, picks up things. But they know they could find something at any angle in the front, the back, the sides, on top, right? So they have cameras, I think, running all the time is the way he talked about it. So that might be it as well, too. Okay, but great point. Yeah, not just random footage, definitely. Awesome. Matt Byrne. Awesome. Welcome aboard, Matt Byrne. Garen Bear, thank you so much for gifting Matt that. We'll give her a big round of applause for Matt, too. Let's get it going. Big round of applause. Join the membership. Join the community membership. I have about 30 videos, I think 25 or 30 videos that are members only. My new videos are always released to members first. You guys usually have 12 hours to watch them before they go public as well, okay? And more members only stuff will be coming out as well. All right, welcome. Okay, so this last little bit that we looked at, this to me is very significant. And again, when you look at these tables, the acceleration velocity tables, acceleration 18,000 Gs. To Bobby's point about not having any gravity, they're saying the acceleration is 18,000 Gs, 10,500 Gs. It's just nothing, anything past this 100 mark, they said in this discussion, there's nothing that we have or we can even hope in a vastly way outside of our capability to design. We're not even close to 100 to what this is, 25,000 miles an hour, okay? And 10,000 or 1,050 Gs, okay? He said 10. We're right around 10. One for sure. 10, yes. But I'll even just go off of what one of you said in the chat, that it appeared to be 50 miles away to you. 50 miles away, here's 10, okay? 10 miles is 2,500. So 2,500 times 5, 50 miles, right? So we're talking 12,500 miles per hour, okay? That's, again, way out of the norm, way outside of our capabilities. I should say it's way outside of, but he said anything at 100 and beyond is vastly beyond anything we could even dream of achieving right now, okay? All right, guys, a little bit more here. 2 hours, 3 hours. We went Benathon, official Benathon territory. We went deep tonight for sure, okay? And here's what I want you to take away from everything we covered. The cover-up out there, the compartmentalization, the secret programs, the institutional empire protecting itself, that is fascinating 100%, and it matters. It matters a lot, right? It definitely matters. So, because understanding the operational context that you're in is the foundation of good leadership, of making good strategy, of kicking ass in life. You got to understand where you are, what's going on, what the operating environment is for yourself, okay? But the cover-up in there, the whole cover-up in your organization, in your team, in your life, in our government, right? That's the one that costs you. What questions have you stopped asking yourself? You ask better questions, you get better answers, okay? What secrets have you started protecting instead of serving your mission? Okay, I know this is some tough stuff, right? Only you know, all right? What culture have you accidentally built around silence, right? What culture have you accidentally built around silence? Like, you don't want to talk about this, you want to talk about that. Instead of shining a light on it, getting better, holding yourself accountable, making it work, where are you doing this? Okay? This is the work, right? The ferocious optimist does this. That's what a ferocious optimist does. That's ferocious optimism in a nutshell, my personal philosophy. Not just understanding your world, but using that understanding to build a better version of yourself and your organization, a better version of yourself to bring your best and highest self, to your family, to your loved ones, to your community, and to the world, okay? So if this hits you tonight, right, and you're feeling it, and you want to go deeper on this work, the inner circle is where we do that, okay? The link is in the chat, okay? It's pinned in the chat. Weekly mastermind, real work, real leaders. The link is in the chat. I'd love to see you in there. Our next session is tomorrow. If you check out the inner circle, you're still not sure, check out my Ferocious Optimist monthly group coaching membership. The next session for the monthly group is on Saturday. If you're in the inner circle, you get both of these. You get the Thursday session tomorrow, 5 p.m. Pacific time, 8 p.m. Eastern time. On Saturday, you're going to get the Ferocious Optimist membership as well too. So if you join Inner Circle, you're getting weekly coaching, and also inside of masterminds. Absolutely awesome. All right. Real leaders. The link is in the description. The link is also in the chat. I'd love to see you there. Share the stream with someone that needs to hear it. Remember to like, subscribe, and share. It's been so awesome to have you guys here, and this conversation needs more voices. All right. Remember, I'm Ben Pappas. Awaken that warrior within all yourselves. Make yourself better. Make the world better. Have an amazing, amazing night. And get ready for Friday. It's almost Friday, baby. We're about to do it, okay? And I will see you in the next one, but not before we take off with a little bit of party time right here, okay? Here we go. We're going to rock and roll on the way out. All right, baby. Great job, everybody. I will see you on Friday.
Welcome to the Ferocious Optimist Podcast.
Let's do it.